Chapter 570. Some of you kill him! Feng Yesheng roared after flicking Li Han Song away with his halberd. Among the crowd, more than 10 martial artists immediately chased after Fang Ping in the direction of his escape. The moment these people leaped out of the crowd, their expressions changed drastically. Boom! In the void, a small city fell and exploded instantly. In the distance, Fang Ping's silhouette appeared. Like a flash of lightning, Fang Ping appeared in front of these people in the blink of an eye, roaring, "Old Jiao! Rumble!" A stretch of ruins descended, suppressing these people once again. The rank 7 Chan Dao in Fang Ping's hands slashed out the image of the fallen gods. Pfft! Heads fell one after another. Fang Ping's face was pale. He grabbed a few divine weapons and shouted, "Kill them!" As soon as he said that, Feng Yesheng was enraged. In the end, the two people who were sent flying by him and seemed to be heavily injured did not even look back, sprinting toward the west. Underground, Yao Qingjun also leaped into the air, flying toward the west together with Fang Ping and the rest. Before they left, the ruins descended again, crashing down. The rank 7 monster took the opportunity to swallow one of them in one gulp. The other monster beasts attacked one after another. As for Fang Ping and the rest who had gone far away, these monsters did not care much. Bastard! Feng Yesheng was furious. These people actually ran away. He understood the human language. The leader said to kill them, but in the end, he ran away without looking back. Chase after them! Feng Yesheng roared, tearing through the air. Behind him, more than 10 powerhouses who had achieved mentality vitality followed immediately. The rest did not chase after them. Some of them continued to fight the monsters. Under the joint efforts of the remaining 6 mentality vitality powerhouses and many peak martial artists, the battle stopped after 7 to 8 minutes. The rank 7 monster was also smashed into pieces by the crowd. A young man who was similarly dressed in luxurious clothes was currently livid. Beside him, a mentality vitality powerhouse reported carefully. Prince Y is dead, speak, 34 people died. This mentality vitality powerhouse's head was almost touching the ground. How long had it been since they entered? 34 people died. 8 mentality vitality powerhouses died this time. Damn it, damn bastards! The young man was also furious. He had just entered, yet he had already lost more than a quarter of his men. Not only that, but many people's psychic energy was also heavily damaged. These were the elites of the royal court, prodigies. As long as these 100 or so people did not die, at least close to 100 high ranks could be born. Prince Y's face was ashen. He looked in the direction that Feng Yesheng and his men had gone. His eyes were cold as he growled, "Let's go after them." Prince Y. Should we send someone back to report? Bastard. Prince Y slammed his palm down, his eyes cold as he said, "So many of us have been killed right after we entered. Now, before the others have even entered, you want us to embarrass ourselves in front of the various royal courts? This time, if you encounter any martial artists from the various dynasties and sects, kill them all. If the Monster Plant Royal Court died more and the other families died less, then they would lose face for the Monster Plant Royal Court. After losing so much face in front of the various great royal courts, could the old ancestor still look favorably upon him? He was not the only one. Everyone present was going to be in trouble. Stupid! Now, the only thing they needed to do was to kill and cause the other parties to suffer heavy losses. Only then would they be able to preserve their reputation. A few people from the land of rebirth had killed so many people, and they still had the face to go out and say it? Everyone trembled with fear and hurriedly began to clean up. The so-called cleaning up was to destroy the corpses and destroy the evidence. Very soon the corpses were all disposed of. Many people's eyes were dark. So many people had died at once. If they went back, they might be in trouble. Everyone said no more, following Prince Y toward the west. At the same time, in the west, Fang Ping said angrily, "Mother of Asterisk Kerr, I only killed a few of you, and you're still chasing. Believe it or not, I won't run anymore. This time, coming to the land of rebirth, he had planned everything. He would not run any more. They were all martial artists of the same rank. He, Fang Ping, was invincible among the same rank. Not only did he overpower humans, but he was also the same in the catacombs. Now, he had only been in for half an hour, and he had to F*King run again. Li Han Song panted heavily, saying intermittently, "There are still 16, all of them are mentality-vitality fusion. If you don't run, are you sure you can win?" 16 of them were mentality-vitality fusion, and there were still pursuers behind. If you were entangled for a while, you would be in big trouble. Moreover, the leader, Feng Miexing, was extremely powerful. Earlier, he and Old Wan had exchanged less than 10 moves with the other party. Although he had the intention of taking the opportunity to escape, the other party was really strong, rupturing his internal organs in just a few moves. Fan Ping's face was pale. "What are you afraid of?" "Have I ever been afraid of anyone of the same rank? No matter how many people there are, they're all useless. Wait for another minute, let me recover, I'll blow them all up." After a few consecutive self-detonations of mentality, Fan Ping could not take it anymore. At his level, after preparing for a long time for self-detonation, the backlash was too strong. The first strike had almost caused his core house to explode. Beside him, Yao Qingjuan's face was also slightly pale. He glanced at those people who were still chasing after them and said quickly, "I've exhausted a lot of energy, and I can't make up for it with mentality-vitality fusion. Fang Ping, find a place for me to hide later." "Get lost!" Fang Ping cursed. Old Jiao did not want to hide, but he felt that he had become a burden. He could not achieve mentality-vitality fusion, and his mentality recovery speed was extremely slow. At this time, his combat strength was severely damaged, and he might not be able to hold on. Fang Ping's gaze was cold. "Don't worry, even without mentality, you're no worse than a peak rank 6. Oh right, you can try using that weapon of yours. It shouldn't be too bad." As he said that, Fang Ping turned around and swept a glance. Behind him, Feng Miexing's eyes were icy cold. He shouted coldly, "You can't run away!" This was the place where kings fought, and there were catacombs martial artists here. This place was full of danger. Fan Ping and the rest wanted to escape the pursuit of more than 10 mentality-vitality fusion martial artists. It was as difficult as climbing to the sky. "Useless thing! Do you think you have the right to bark at me? I've just slaughtered a bunch of you. Does it feel good? Prince? King my ass! You dog, fight me one-on-one if you have the guts. I can't even take 3 moves from a piece of trash like you." Fan Ping was full of disdain and abuse. Behind him, Feng Miexing's speed increased by 30%. Fan Ping let out a humph. Feng Miexing was fast, but not as fast as him. Most importantly, he still had to take care of Old Wang and the rest. Among Old Wang and the rest, Iron Head was the slowest. Even if he had been cultivating his stepping techniques, his speed was still slow. He was not as fast as Feng Miexing and the rest. After cursing for a while, Fang Ping said, "How's your recovery?" Old Wang nodded. "Almost." "Me too," Yao Qingjun said quickly. "I'm fine." Other than his mentality that had not recovered, he was not injured. Fang Ping turned around again, licked his lips, and said, "Old Wang, can you and Iron Head stop Feng Miexing?" Wang Jinyang was silent for a moment, then said quickly, "1 minute! That's enough. Old Jiao, can you erupt your mental strength again?" "Yes." "All right, if you do it, I'll do it too. We'll take the opportunity to kill a few people. I'll let them keep chasing us." After they finished discussing, Fang Ping stopped abruptly and shouted, "Split up and run!" As soon as he said that, Feng Miexing and the rest behind him immediately formed a circle. In the end, they had just split up and formed a circle when Wang Jinyang and Li Hansong burst out, charging toward Feng Miexing. "You're asking for it!" On Feng Miexing's halberd, a dazzling glow erupted. The halberd swept toward the two of them, the void rumbled and energy exploded. Boom! After a few consecutive explosions, Li Hansong's fists were like shadows, blasting the void. The golden glow was like the sun. Wang Jinyang turned into a blood-colored god of war, wielding his saber and hacking. Strange phenomena appeared in the sky. Ridiculous! Feng Yexing sneered. His halberd was as steady as a mountain, sweeping across the sky. One strike from the halberd caused the two of them to spit blood, the sound of explosions coming from their bodies. The two of them did not care, dragging him along as they fought outside. On the other side, Fang Ping had already charged out, sweeping the rest with his saber. A long spear appeared in Yao Qingjuan's hand out of thin air, attacking instantly. On the long spear, an earth-shattering murderous aura erupted. The spear pierced through the void, freezing one of them in place. The long spear pierced through the other party's skull in the blink of an eye. Fang Ping was a little surprised. Yao Qingjun was a little strange too. This spear seemed to have become more powerful. He did not plan to kill this person just now. His mentality was not at its peak. If he unleashed his full power, he would at most be comparable to a peak rank 6, or even worse. He was different from Wang Jinyang and Wang Jinyang. The two of them were strong in their bodies and vitality. His strength did not lie in this area. Ironhead's defense was the strongest, Old Wang's physical attack was strong, and Yao Qingjuan's was a magician. However, who would have thought that this spear attack would actually kill a mentality-vitality-unity powerhouse? They did not have time to think. The strongest Feng Yexing was being held back, but the other party was really strong. Ironhead's golden glow was extinguished, and it looked like he could not hold on any longer. Seeing this, Fang Ping let out a low roar again. At the same time, Yao Qingjuan's face instantly turned pale. He let out a furious roar, the energy in the void exploding violently. Boom! Below them, the ground began to collapse directly. As for Yao Qingjuan's spear attack, before it even got close, many powerhouses turned pale, bleeding from their orifices, their mentalities shaken. At the same time, Fang Ping's slightly illusory small city appeared again, enveloping everyone within. Goodbye, trash! Fang Ping was also bleeding from his orifices, but he was smiling coldly. Rumble! An explosion sounded again. Some powerhouses roared in anger, their bodies erupting with brilliant light, forcibly escaping the small city. It was not just one person. 5 or 6 powerhouses also erupted with light, disappearing from the small city. Although it was rare to see accessories that could block mentality, there were many of them in the catacombs. These mentality-vitality-unity powerhouses were almost all the disciples of the catacombs. Some of them were only related to the catacombs by blood for 4 or 5 generations. These people escaped, but there were still some who could not escape. Seeing Fang Ping brandishing his saber, someone wailed in despair, then self-destructed. Rumble! The small city was destroyed. Fang Ping was dizzy, his face covered with golden blood, like a devil being reborn. Mother Faster's cur, I'm going to kill you all! Prince Feng! Someone roared. Not far away, Feng Yexing had also gone berserk. His long halberd was as fast as lightning, hitting Li Hansong's skull until it made a cracking sound. At this time, Ironhead's face was already smashed into pieces, but he was still roaring furiously, using his golden skull to block again and again. Beside him, Wang Jinyang's Sanjiao gate appeared, his vitality gate half open. His body was wrapped in a blood cocoon, like an illusion, surrounding Feng Yexing and attacking everywhere. Seeing this, Fang Ping roared again, the small city appearing again. This time, even Feng Yexing was cursing loudly. Damn it, damn it! Why? The immortal god had exploded again and again. Why would it recover again and again? Why? Were all martial artists who resurrected like this? No! If that was the case, the royal court would have been defeated long ago. Why would they still be suppressing the other party? I'll definitely kill you! Feng Yexing roared. His halberd pierced through Li Hansong's shoulder blade, sending Li Hansong flying. The next moment, without looking back, he swept his halberd toward the sky. Rumble! A loud explosion was heard. Old Wang was sent flying, spitting blood. As for Fan Ping, he self-destructed the small city again. With a slash, he killed 2 mentality-vitality-unity powerhouses. In a short period of time, he and Yao Qingjun had killed 4 people and self-destructed 2 more. 6 powerhouses who were also prodigies in the restricted area died in the blink of an eye. As for the remaining mentality-vitality-unity powerhouses, some of them retreated from the battlefield, but they did not run away. Instead, they shouted angrily, "Hold them back!" As soon as he said that, the remaining people fought Fan Ping and Feng Yexing with all their might. As for the person who escaped to the periphery, all his flesh and blood seemed to be sucked dry in an instant. In the blink of an eye, a golden flying dagger condensed in front of him. Fan Ping's expression changed drastically. With a slash, he forced one person back. He was just about to dodge. Boom! The golden flying dagger hit his chest. Fan Ping spat out a large amount of half-energy converted internal organ fragments. His coat was torn, and a crack appeared on the rank 9 inner armor inside. Fan Ping's expression was ghastly. As expected, many people had killer weapons. The flying dagger just now almost pierced through the rank 9 inner armor. Although it did not pierce through completely, it had shattered his internal organs. Right now, Fan Ping's injuries were extremely serious. If it were anyone else, they would probably be dead now. Even if it was Li Hansong, if he was hit, his skull might be shattered. As for Fan Ping, the moment he was hit, a bottle appeared in his hand. The next moment, Fan Ping swallowed a large amount of life essence. The injuries of his shattered internal organs were also recovering rapidly. More? Come again! Fan Ping grinned hideously. The small city appeared again, exploding with a rumble. At this moment, Yao Qingjun brandished his long spear and killed another person. Fan Ping, on the other hand, had his eyes on the martial artist who was only skin and bones. Seeing that he seemed to have no more strength to move, the divine weapon pierced through the air and beheaded the other party in one strike. The divine weapon Chang Nao flew back quickly. Fan Ping did not even bother to pick up the divine weapon. His figure moved, grabbing Li Hansong, whose skull was shattered, and he fled without looking back. Old Wang and Yao Qingjun were also extremely fast. The moment Fan Ping made his move, they escaped together. ****. I will not rest until you die. Behind him, the maple extinguisher's light halberd pierced through the air, stabbing toward Fan Ping. As for Fan Ping, he grabbed the halberd. The bones and flesh of his hand cracked, but he would not let go no matter what. Li Hansong, whose injuries were extremely serious, wanted to cry but had no tears. He said intermittently, Don't snatch, or else I won't be able to escape." The halberd was struggling violently. If this dragged on, Maple Extinguisher would catch up. Fan Ping gritted his teeth. "Rank 8. Mother ***, forget it. There's still a chance." Having said that, Fan Ping threw the halberd with force. The next moment, Fan Ping's speed was extremely fast. He took the opportunity to grab Old Wang and Yao Qingjun, dragging the 3 of them as he fled rapidly. The divine weapon combat boots on his feet emitted an extremely dazzling light. Damn it! Maple Extinguisher chased after them for a while, cursing and swearing. He was about to go crazy. The 2 weaklings had held him back for a long time. He could not kill them no matter how hard he hit them. They were only rank 6, but the 2 of them had physiques that far exceeded rank 6. Especially the guy with the golden head, who used his head to bump him every time. While he was holding him back for a moment, the other 2 had actually killed 8 powerhouses in the blink of an eye. Out of the 16 people who were originally chasing after them, only half were left now. Other than him, everyone else was injured. Maple Extinguisher chased after them for a while and retreated, his expression dark. Not long after, Prince Y rushed over with his men. When he saw the scene of the defeated army, Prince Y's expression was also extremely gloomy. Another 8 had died. Before the people from the Monster Life King Court could enter, they had lost 16 quasi-commander powerhouses. At this moment, on the Monster Plants King Court side, 42 people had died. Among them, 16 were at mentality-vitality fusion. Among the remaining people, including the 2 princes, there were a total of 14 mentality-vitality fusion powerhouses. Trash, a bunch of trash! Maple Prince was furious. His cold gaze swept over the people who had held Fong Ping back. Out of the 15 quasi-commanders, more than half had been killed by 2 people. Everyone was silent. Maple Prince was the grandson of a true king powerhouse. His status was even more distinguished than Prince Y because Prince Y's bloodline had already surpassed 3 generations. However, everyone felt aggrieved. Maple Prince was known as an invincible general who had swept the 4 king courts. In the end, 2 middle-stage general martial artists had actually held him back. The 2 people they had faced were both freaks. The leader had self-destructed his immortal god time and time again. Was he still human? It was understandable that they had suffered heavy casualties. However, Maple Prince, an invincible general, had been held back by 2 martial artists who were far inferior to him. It was clear who was trash. Maple Prince cursed for a while. Very quickly, his gaze turned cold and fierce. Continue to hunt them down. This time, we will move together. Huai Muqing and I will hold them back. All of you, use all your trump cards. Don't hold back, unless you want to die. Most of the people present had a backup plan. However, backup plans needed time to prepare. They had been killed so suddenly that they had no time to use them. More than half of those who had died had a trump card to save their lives. However, external objects were external objects after all. Without time or reaction, they were gone once they died. At this moment, there were still 86 people left in the Monster Plants King Court. Among them, more than 10 were seriously injured and dispirited. In less than half an hour, the losses had already reached 1/3. And their opponents were only 4 people. They were not the descendants of the Netherworld King that they had imagined. They were also not the quasi-commander powerhouses who looked very powerful. Instead, they were the few middle-stage generals that they had ignored earlier. Some people even remembered that before they entered, the leading martial artist was still trembling. Damn liar! Someone cursed. That liar had lied to all of them. He had pretended to be afraid so that everyone would ignore him. The 2 princes ignored them. Their gazes were cold and fierce as they continued to lead the others in the chase. They had suffered heavy losses, but the other party was also seriously injured. Maple Mieshing did not believe that the fellow could really regenerate his immortal god indefinitely. If he was held back for even a moment, even if he could recover, he could use the killer move that his grandfather had left for him to kill him. It was a pity that he had not had the chance to use it before. Regret aside, Maple Mieshing continued to chase while saying coldly, "Leave a few more people behind and quickly break through to rank 7. We'll leave marks along the way. Catch up after you've broken through." Many of the mentality-vitality unity powerhouses could have broken through already. However, they chose not to break through because they wanted to be safer. Or rather, they wanted to obtain more things and protect some people. If they broke through, they would have to enter the rank 7 area. They had initially planned to break through after entering. Unexpectedly, so many of them were killed in an instant. Before this, 5 or 6 of them were close to breaking through. At this moment, Maple Mieshing's expression was even worse. Currently, there were only 3 quasi-commanders left who were close to breaking through. After all, they had just entered. The other parties had not even entered yet. Next, if they encountered these forces, they would be in big trouble. At the same time, Fong Ping sprinted tens of li. Then, he found a small mountain forest and landed. He quickly dug a hole and led a few people into it. After setting up layers of mentality barriers, Fong Ping's face was as white as a sheet. Beside him, Yao Qingjun was even worse off. His gaze was a little dull. Li Hansong was the worst off. His head had really turned into a skeleton. His imperishable substance appeared, but it was difficult for him to recover immediately. Ironhead. Li Hansong did not make a sound. Fang Ping gritted his teeth. He took out some life essence and poured it on his head. With that, his recovery speed was much faster. After a while, Li Hansong's flesh had recovered slightly. He said weakly, "That fellow is very strong. Fang Ping, be careful." Fang Ping's expression was gloomy. "I know. Besides, many of these fellows have big killer moves. The one who suddenly condensed a golden flying dagger just now. Although it did not involve a mentality attack, its destructive power was extremely strong. Other than me, all of you might have been killed in one move." After saying that, Fang Ping glanced at the silent old Wang, then at his pierced chest. He felt a little helpless. He thought that the few of them were invincible among rank 6. Who knew that they would be beaten up so badly the first time? "It's okay. Let's recuperate first. After we're healed, we'll torture them to death," Wang Jinyang said weakly. "This time, I'm afraid someone is going to break through to rank 7. Fang Ping nodded. Then, he said, "It's okay. There are only a few of them. Many of those who achieved mentality-vitality fusion were killed. At most 2 or 3 of them can break through to rank 7. They'll be the weakest rank 7 too. As long as the opportunity is right, I'll act as an assassin. Sooner or later, I'll kill them one by one." After saying that, Fan Ping suddenly broke into a smile. Although the loss was not small, the gain was also huge. His internal organs were ruptured earlier. He had no choice but to consume life essence. Including the one he gave to Ironhead, he had consumed about 1 caddy. It was worth a lot. However, the gain from the divine weapons was also huge. Not only the divine weapons, Fan Ping also touched a necklace. It was probably an accessory that could block out mentality. "Guess, how many divine weapons are there?" As soon as he said that, even Li Hansong, who was on the verge of death just now, perked up instantly. He asked hurriedly, "How many?" 22. Fan Ping looked ecstatic. He grinned and said, "Mother asterisk Kerr, I didn't touch a few. It's too late. But this battle, it's not a loss. It's a profit. We've made a huge profit." Li Hansong was no longer dispirited. He was full of energy. He grinned widely with his bloody mouth that had yet to heal. He laughed foolishly. 22 divine weapons. 22. I can get 3. 3, is that right? He fought and did not die. He got 3 divine weapons. It was a huge profit. He should fight a few more times like this. Fang Ping and the others glanced at him. Ironhead was good at accounting. He was not a fool when he should be. He could even remember the digits after the decimal point. They could not be bothered with him. No matter how many divine weapons there were, they had to wait until they got out alive. "It's a pity," Fang Ping said with some regret. "That halberd is at least rank 8. It's a fine one among the rank 8 ones. It's a pity we didn't get it." As he said that, Fang Ping said, "I'll get 11. Everyone nodded. Fan Ping looked at his wealth points and frowned slightly. "Be careful. We're not out of danger yet. We're at our weakest now. Everyone, heal your wounds as soon as possible." "All right." At this moment, Yao Qingjuan's gaze was no longer unfocused. He said in a low voice, "Fan Ping, my spear's power has increased here. I can't see anything in the ruins, but this place might very well be a ruin." Fang Ping frowned. Was this really the place where old Jiao and the others fought their last battle? It could not be that incredible, right? The place where the kings fought did not seem as mysterious and powerful as he had imagined. Could it be that old Jiao and the others had fought their way to a place like this in their past lives? Of course, it might not be here. But I feel... Yao Qingjun pondered for a moment. "I feel that this place has something to do with us, more or less." Li Hansong grinned with his bloody mouth again. "Do you guys think that there might be remains of our past lives? Then, if we find the corpses and combine them into one, our strength will skyrocket and restore the combat strength of our past lives?" Fang Ping was speechless. Wang Jinyang said weakly, "Dead is dead. Li Han Song, don't always immerse yourself in the unknown past." He was also at his wits' end because of Ironhead. This fellow was very arrogant now. He thought he was at the top, but in reality, did he not see that both of them were almost defeated by a rank 6 even when they joined forces? Li Han Song heard that and shrugged. He did not say anything else and began to heal his wounds. As for a certain fatty who was still waiting for them, who cared if he lived or died? He had to take care of himself first. As for Fang Ping, he was healing his wounds while calculating things. He had taken a look at the Monster Plants Dynasty's side earlier. There were at least 70 divine weapons. The Monster Plants and Monster Life Dynasty had the most divine weapons. Counting like this, there were still close to 50 divine weapons left. Disregarding the Monster Life Dynasty's side, he was definitely going to get his hands on the Monster Plants Dynasty's side. If I get all 70 divine weapons, I can get more than 35. If I get more, I might even get 40. That foam extinguisher's divine weapon is even a rank 8. If I really get all of them, maybe I can break through 1,000,000,000,000 wealth. Fang Ping licked his lips. He healed his wounds as soon as possible. Once his injuries were healed, he would immediately conceal his aura and kill them. This time, he was definitely going to grind these people down. As for the secret of the place where the kings fought, after killing all these guys, he had all the time to explore it. There was no hurry now. Chapter 571. La 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 la. I'm so excited that I'm flying off. November, first place in the monthly votes. Thank you, brothers and sisters, for your hard work, your support, and your awesome support. Thank you, Big Shots, for your subscriptions and gifts, and for your monthly votes. Thank you to Eagle Sauce's extremely awesome charisma. She should be. We won and took the glory of first place in the monthly votes. This is so cool. I wonder if there are any brothers who remembered the previous standalone chapter. On September 27th, Old Eagle posted a standalone chapter, joking that with an average subscription of 30,000, we could take first place in the monthly votes. It really was a joke at that time. With an average subscription of 30,000, we could take first place in the monthly votes. Of the big shots who took first place in the monthly votes, who wasn't a god, who wasn't platinum, cough cough, now there's me, awesome. With an average subscription of 24,000, we took first place. November was a month that surprised, delighted, and dumbfounded Old Eagle. He had too many achievements. First place in the monthly votes, a Gold Alliance Master from Huashuejian, Silver Alliance Masters from Legend, Baked Bun, and Lonely as You, a new Alliance Master almost every day. He really couldn't describe the feeling. There were too many emotions, too many things that he wanted to say. Forget it, let's not talk about it. Of course, Eagle, I'm also very awesome. Don't stop me, I have to show off. This month, I've updated more than 600,000 words. Perhaps there aren't many chapters, but to update more than 600,000 words in a month, I think it's still very awesome. Everyone, give Old Eagle a round of applause. He was so excited that his speech was somewhat incoherent. But this time, everyone had really worked hard. The managers were on 24-hour shifts, keeping an eye on the monthly votes. The big shots contributed money and effort, and the big shots who secretly sponsored the monthly votes and red packets, but none of them told me. But no matter how awesome I am, can you hide it from my discerning eyes? In short, I'll keep the gratitude in my heart. I won't say any more pretentious words. I'll continue working hard, continue fighting. I'm an author, and the most important thing is for my books to be recognized by everyone. With everyone's support, Old Eagle will definitely continue to write good books. This is my job, and the foundation of my brothers and sisters' support. In the end, I once again sincerely thank everyone for their support, and thank the hundreds of thousands of brothers and sisters for their tolerance and love. Okay, the good news ends here. I also ask for a guaranteed monthly vote for 12 months, thank you. December 1st, 2018. Chapter 572. Underground. Fan Ping and the others were still recuperating. Just as the others were closing their eyes to heal, Fan Ping's expression suddenly changed. After a while, Fan Ping coughed softly and said, "Everyone, open your eyes and look." Everyone opened their eyes one after another. The next moment, everyone's expression changed. Previously, they landed in a forest. Fan Ping dug a hole and everyone hid underground. But now they were actually on top of a small hill. Li Hansung's expression was blank. He did not notice anything strange. Just like that, without a sound, their surrounding environment changed completely. It was no longer the same as before. After the shock, Li Hansung said hurriedly, F***CK. Isn't this going to expose our whereabouts? They were actually on top of a small hill. Fan Ping smiled bitterly. This place is really strange. Earlier, Instructor Zhang said that the terrain here changes at any time. I thought it was just a rough change. I didn't expect it to change like this. They were clearly in the forest, underground. In the blink of an eye, they appeared on top of a small hill. This was too strange. Wang Jinyan looked around. After a while, he said, "We didn't notice anything. There are two possibilities. First, our own position has changed. We were moved to another place without a sound. Second, the environment has really changed." Fan Ping thought for a while. He took out the mother-child sensor and turned it on to take a look. He saw a red dot outside of them and shook his head. It shouldn't be that people have changed. Jiang Chao, who was dozens of li away, was not moved along with us. So, the environment has indeed changed. It was done without a sound. What a scary place. Li Hansong sighed. Yao Qingjun, on the other hand, said attentively, "It's really scary to be able to make us feel nothing." As he said that, Yao Qingjun said in a low voice, "Say, do you think this is a manifestation of a top-notch powerhouse? Like Fan Ping before, changing the environment? If it's really a manifestation, we might not be able to sense it. Even if the Paragon can't enter, he should be able to sense it. Moreover, the king's battleground is like an upside-down bowl. It's covered by the boundary wall. It covers a huge area, more than 5 million square kilometers. It's comparable to half the size of Sino Nation. A manifestation that really exists. This is not something that the Paragon can do." Fan Ping shook his head. "Forget about the Paragon, even the legendary Two Kings might not be able to do it." "What about you?" Li Hansong suddenly interrupted. As soon as he said that, Fan Ping's expression turned strange. "You're asking about the Celestial Emperor, aren't you?" Fan Ping could not be bothered with him. He pondered for a moment and said, "I feel that the probability of it materializing is not high. If it's true, then it would be extremely terrifying. It was more likely that the source Tao here was too chaotic and too powerful. The powerful Tao of origin distorted space. The pinnacle had already touched upon space. The existence of a storage ring meant that there was an expert who had touched upon the transformation and slicing of space. So, if I'm not mistaken, it should be the origin Tao that distorted the space here." Everyone nodded slightly. This inference was possible. As Fan Ping said that, he chuckled. "Of course, there's another possibility. It's caused by chaotic mentality. The realm wall here was like a huge bowl that had been turned upside down, covering an extremely large area. One could imagine just how many people had died back then. Such a powerful remnant spiritual force is enough to distort our senses. In other words, what we see may not be real. This is similar to a materialized object, but it's not created by a single person. Instead, it's an illusory scene created by the mental distortion of countless dead people." Everyone nodded again. Then, Li Hansong said somewhat uninterestedly, "What's the point of analyzing this? Shouldn't we go into hiding?" There were countless reasons for the formation of the King battleground. The catacombs were analyzing, humans were also analyzing. In the end, there was no unified understanding. At this point, other than the pinnacle, not many people really cared about how this place was formed. When Zhang Ping taught them, he also said that they did not need to care about these meaningless things. Fang Ping chuckled. Suddenly, he thought of something and said amusedly, "It's a good thing there aren't normal monsters here. Otherwise, they'd be cursing every day." It wasn't easy to get a lair, but in the end, when they go out for a trip, their home is gone. Or when they're sleeping well, their home is gone. It'll drive demons crazy. Li Hansong grinned. If there really are normal monsters, then it'll be interesting. Some monsters like to collect treasures. Say, if you open your eyes and suddenly see a rank 9 monster's lair without any monsters in it, won't you go crazy? Everyone burst out laughing. This place was indeed not suitable for normal people to stay in. Not even demons! Every time they could not find their home, it was enough to break them down. The location of humans did not change. That meant that the position of the monsters, or the position of living beings, should not change. This also meant that if you went out, you could not go back. Unless the entire king battleground was turned upside down. Fang Ping did not continue talking about this. He looked around, stood up and said, "This place is a little conspicuous. How's everyone's injury?" "Almost. No problem." Among the other 3, only Yao Qingjuan's mentality had not completely recovered. However, he was not injured, so there was no need to continue healing. Fang Ping did not have the intention to explore the king battleground. Hearing everyone speak, he smiled and said, "Then it's time to work. It's morning." Previously, when they entered, it was late at night on the 3rd. Now it was morning. In fact, the king battleground was gray and hazy. There was not much difference between day and night in this place. Of course, if it was daytime, it would be slightly brighter. Fang Ping jumped down from the hilltop, saying as he walked, "It's only midnight. Even if their people break through, it won't be so fast. Strike first and gain the upper hand. Don't give them time and opportunity to break through. Otherwise, if there are more rank 7s, we'll be in trouble. Also, now that the other clans have entered, we have to be more careful. However, there are also advantages to having more people. It's more chaotic. In this mess, we have fewer people. It's more convenient to move in small groups. Brothers, this time, we'll play the role of assassins, no, hunters. Those fellows are our prey. Whether we can go out and have a good life depends on this. As for breaking through to rank 7, it's nothing to us. Even if we miss some opportunities in the king battleground, it doesn't matter. At most, we'll explore the next time. After we get the quota, we can always enter. What do you guys think?" Li Hansong chuckled. "I have no objections. At most, we can join forces to seal the door again. It's actually very fast. Rather than blindly trying our luck, it's better to kill those fellows. It's more worthwhile." Fang Ping nodded. Then, he tossed a Changdao to Old Wang and said, "You should change your weapon. You're still using A-class alloy. It's outdated." As he said that, he looked at Li Hansong and shook his head. "I don't have boxing gloves. Do you want to use other divine weapons?" "Forget it then. I'll just use my boxing gloves." Li Hansong shook his head. Until now, he had cultivated a pair of iron fists. If he changed his weapon, he would not be able to unleash his strength. Fang Ping did not say anything else. At this moment, he stared at the data on his interface. Safe. At least he was safe now. After everyone's injuries had recovered, the terrain had changed. His wealth suddenly increased. This was also the reason why Fang Ping was not in a hurry to hide. The increase in wealth meant safety and distance from danger. Wealth, 645 billion, conversion, vitality, 9,630 calories, 9,630 calories, mentality, 1,469 Hz, 1,469 Hz, bones honed, 177 bones, 100%, 29 bones, 90%, storage space, 100 cubic meters, plus. Energy shield, 10,000 wealth/minute, plus 31,000 wealth/minute, aura simulation, 100,000 wealth/minute, plus 30,000. It's increased by about 130 billion. Fang Ping was slightly surprised. That much? Logically speaking, he only got 11 divine weapons. The divine weapons he got this time were actually trash. At least that was what Fang Ping thought. Most of them were early stage rank 7. There were only a few middle stage divine weapons. Early stage rank 7 divine weapons would usually increase his wealth by 10 billion. Middle stage ones were about 12 billion. Fang Ping took a look. It seemed like there were only 2 middle stage rank 7 ones. If he got one, that would be 112 billion. Why was there an extra 18 billion? After thinking about it, Fang Ping suddenly raised his eyebrows. A necklace appeared in his hand out of thin air. The necklace was black and looked a little ugly. Not only was it ugly, but it was probably not polished well enough. Or rather, it was hard to polish. It was made up of a string of stones, very rough. The stones did not have any holes. Instead, they were wrapped by some net-like objects and connected together. Is this it? Fang Ping made a judgment in his heart. This was probably it. This thing was worth a lot of money. Fang Ping did not plan to share this necklace. No one wanted it either. It should be considered his own gain. Before this, Fang Ping had thought that this thing would be very valuable. Now, it was proven that it was indeed expensive. 18 billion. This necklace is about 3 caddies. 6 billion per caddy? Fang Ping shook his head. It was priceless. The official price for a caddy of life essence was only 5 billion. The system's valuation was even lower, only half of it. It was only 5 billion wealth. But this thing was worth 6 billion per caddy. More valuable than life essence? Fang Ping was actually still a little surprised. In his opinion, this thing was indeed very valuable. It was an excellent thing for those below high ranks. It was even better than divine weapons. It could block rank 7 mentality for a moment. Previously, many people from the monster plant's royal court had used this to save their lives. However, it was actually more valuable than life essence of the same weight. This had refreshed his understanding. That monument last time. Fang Ping was suddenly looking forward to it. He was really going to dig it up. That monument, was it 10,000 caddies? 10,000 caddies. That was only 5 tons. Did that not mean it was worth 60 trillion? Fang Ping continued to shake his head. That monument was not so valuable, was it? If it was really so valuable, then how rich would the ancient martial artists be? Would they just bury this thing in the ground? After thinking for a while, Fang Ping stopped thinking about this. Mentality and vitality are both growing. This is not bad. Fang Ping also discovered something. Even if he did not cultivate much these 2 days, his mentality and vitality were still growing. Previously, he thought that he had reached his limit. Now, it seemed that was not the case. After looking at the data, Fang Ping looked at Wang Jinyang and Li Hansong. After thinking for a while, he suddenly took off the inner armor on his body and threw it to Li Hansong, saying, "Don't use your head on it anymore. Sooner or later, you'll become a big idiot." Li Hansong caught the inner armor but immediately handed it back to Fang Ping, saying, "Keep it for yourself. They're all watching you. You're in more danger than me." Wang Jinyang also said in a low voice, "Wear it. If it wasn't for this inner armor earlier, you'd be in danger." The rank 9 monster that MC Mayu brought back last time did not just forge a set of rank 9 inner armor. Of course, the parts of the monster's shell that could be forged into inner armor were actually limited. A total of 3 sets were forged. Fang Ping took 1 set. The other set was sent to Magic City Catacombs by the people of MC Mayu and given to Lu Polo. A rank 7 martial artist's body was not strong enough. Lu Polo had been guarding the Magic City Catacombs all this time, so he was currently in the most danger. As for the last set, it was on Qingyunxi. When they went to Tianan Catacombs in April, Fang Ping saw that Qingyunxi was wearing a rank 7 inner armor. He bragged that he would give her a set of rank 8 inner armor later. In the end, his bragging turned out to be reality. 3 sets of rank 9 inner armors were forged. Since Qingyunqi had been staying in the catacombs recently, Fan Ping gave her a set of rank 9 inner armor. Seeing that Iron Head did not want it, Fan Ping did not say anything else. He picked up the necklace and looked at Old Wang and Iron Head, saying, "Which one of you is going to wear this?" "Old Yao and I don't need it. You guys still have to be on guard. If the 2 of them encountered a rank 7, it would be very troublesome." Under the deterrence of a rank 7 martial artist's mentality, both of them would also be severely injured. Li Hansong chuckled and said, "Give it to Old Wang. I don't need it. My skull is strong. Actually, it can also defend against mentality. You know that." Fan Ping nodded. That was true. Mentality deterrence was actually a deterrent to one's consciousness. It had a lot to do with the brain. After tossing the necklace to Old Wang, Wang Jinan did not say anything. After putting on the necklace, he said, "We can ambush and kill them, but if we're discovered, how are we going to escape? Fan Ping, you're very fast. Why don't you act alone, and the few of us will find a chance to ambush them? If they're hunting you, the weak ones will definitely fall behind." Fan Ping frowned slightly. "The key is that if we're too far apart, I won't be able to help you guys hide your auras. If that's the case, you'll be discovered. It's okay. If their strength doesn't surpass ours, it'll be hard for them to discover our existence. We'll ambush the weak ones. By the time we're discovered, they'll already be fighting. Alright, let's do that. I'll mainly ambush their mentality-vitality fusion. The few of you act according to the situation. If there's still a lot of mentality-vitality fusion left, then continue to hide. Oh right, Old Zhao is following you guys. He'll be able to discover the situation. Be careful." Fan Ping also thought that it was better for him to ambush them. The few of them would be more effective in ambushing those upper stage and peak rank 6 martial artists. Having said that, Fan Ping smiled and said, "Let's go. Let's go." Seeing that he was walking forward behind him, Wang Jinyan could not help but say, "They should be behind us." Fan Ping was stunned for a moment. He looked around and said gloomily, "The terrain has changed. I can't tell the direction at all. Luckily, Jiang Chao gave me a sensor. Otherwise, if we were to split up later, I might not be able to find you guys." Old Wang's sense of direction was not bad. As he led the way, he said, "You don't have to pay special attention to the terrain. Look at the sky. The more chaotic the energy flow, the further it is from the entrance. We escaped all the way here from the entrance. They're behind us, so they should be in the direction where the chaotic energy flow is weaker." Fan Ping looked at the dusky sky and nodded. Now, he finally had a direction to guide them. More than half an hour later, beside a river, Feng Yeshing's expression was livid. He let out a cold humph. "The terrain has changed. Some of the remaining traces have disappeared. *M*. I actually let them escape." The sudden change in the terrain had also caused some of the traces Fan Ping and the rest left behind to disappear. At this moment, it was too difficult to find them. Beside him, Huai Muqing frowned. He looked around for a moment and said, "Now that the people from the other royal courts have also entered, Mieshing, since they have escaped, then we must kill them." Feng Yeshing's expression was ugly. Those fellows had killed so many of their people. He had never suffered such a huge loss in his life. Even when he was facing the prodigies of the other royal courts, he had never been in such a dire situation. Seeing that he was insistent, Huai Muqing did not say anything else. He felt a little helpless. In such a huge place, if the few of them really wanted to hide, unless they were extremely unlucky and ran into them, where else could they find them? At this moment, some of the people who were searching in the periphery returned one after another. Not far away, a powerhouse who had achieved mentality-vitality fusion also rushed over using flight step. Initially, Feng Yeshing did not pay much attention to it. However, he seemed to feel that something was amiss. He turned around and took a look. With one look, Feng Yeshing's eyes almost popped out of their sockets. That B***** was behind that person. He had actually landed behind a quasi-commander-in-chief in front of everyone. Lu! As soon as Feng Yeshing let out a shrill roar, he saw that annoying smiling face facing him. It was baring its teeth at him, mocking him wantonly. B*****. Feng Yeshing was furious. The long halberd in his hand shot out violently, and he broke through the air in an instant. At the same time, Huai Muqing's figure also moved, flying in that direction. The martial artist who had achieved mentality-vitality fusion was actually still a little confused. However, he did not remain confused for long. The moment Feng Yeshing let out a roar, Fang Ping's mentality exploded instantly, causing the other party to feel dizzy. At this moment, Fang Ping's saber swept across. Pft! His head fell. With a wave of his hand, a long sword appeared in Fang Ping's hand. Just as Feng Yeshing and the others broke through the air and arrived, Fang Ping had already completed the assassination in front of everyone's eyes. Greetings to His Royal Highness, ha ha ha! Fang Ping was extremely arrogant. After killing a fusion of mentality-vitality in an instant and provoking him, he broke through the air and fled. B****, don't even think of escaping! At this moment, Feng Yeshing's rage had reached its peak. His speed was also extremely fast. In an instant, he leaped over the corpse of the fusion of mentality-vitality and chased after Fang Ping. Behind him, 7 or 8 fusion of mentality-vitality powerhouses chased after him one after another. These people soon disappeared before everyone's eyes. In their original spots, a few fusion of mentality-vitality martial artists and a large number of upper stage and peak rank 6 martial artists were left behind. Just as these people were feeling slightly frightened, a ruin fell from the sky. In the next second, a few screams were heard. In the crowd, a few fusion of mentality-vitality powerhouses were furious. Without thinking, they gathered celestiality and blasted the ruins instantly. Rumble! After a series of explosions, 3 figures fled at high speed. Seeing the 3 of them escaping, some people wanted to chase after them, but someone shouted, "Don't split up!" Previously, Fang Ping had lured Feng Yeshing and the others away, causing them to be attacked immediately. If these fusion of mentality-vitality martial artists left now, the others would be in danger. ****! Someone cursed, but he stopped in his tracks, looking around vigilantly. This trip to the king's battleground this time had made them suffer a lot. In this short period of time, Fang Ping had ambushed and killed 1 person, while Wang Jinyang and the rest had killed 3 people. Although they were not fusion of mentality-vitality, everyone here was a genius. There were no weaklings. In Monster Plant's royal court, another 4 people died. At the same time, dozens of li away from the Monster Plant's royal court, a large group of people had gathered. A few powerhouses stood in the air, looking into the distance. After a while, someone said, "Feng Yeshing and the rest have split up?" At this moment, in the distance, everyone in Monster Plant's royal court was bursting with energy. With so many people, the energy fluctuations were stirred up constantly. Although these rank 6 martial artists could not sense it too clearly, they could still sense that the energy fluctuations were not as strong as expected. This meant that some people did not erupt, or were not there. After this person finished speaking, a cold-looking woman next to him, riding a striped tiger, stood in the air and said lightly, "I'm more curious. What kind of enemy did they encounter? If they did not encounter an opponent, they would not all erupt." The person who spoke earlier stood with his hands behind his back, smiling. "Maybe they encountered a commander-level powerhouse. They don't seem to be very lucky. Although the entrance has been taken care of, traces of battle can still be found. They've been in trouble since the beginning." As soon as this was said, the woman riding the tiger suddenly said, "Find a chance to kill Feng Yeshing and Huai Muqing. Your Highness, kill them." "About King Feng and King Huai," the woman sneered. "So what? Would the 2 true monarchs start a true monarch battle over a dead person?" Right now, Monster Plant Clan is negotiating peace with the royal court, hoping that the royal court can send troops to besiege the land of rebirth. At this time, they won't dare to start a war. Will that affect the cooperation between the royal court and Monster Plant Clan? That has nothing to do with us. The woman looked disapproving. Then she said lightly, "Besides, they're the ones begging us, not the other way around. Before King Feng became a king, he killed my granduncle. Then, I'll use Feng Mieshing's life to pay for it." As they were talking, the woman suddenly looked straight ahead. In the distance, several celestiality erupted, the light pillars spreading far and wide. Seeing this, the woman frowned slightly. Did they really encounter a monster commander? Feng Mieshing and the others did not care about the damage to their undying god, all of them unleashing their divine powers. They would only do this if they encountered an extremely powerful enemy. However, she did not seem to sense any other auras. If a rank 7 powerhouse really attacked, there would more or less be some traces. At this moment, the feeling that Feng Mieshing and the others gave her was more like internal strife? Yes, they were fighting among themselves. How was that possible? For a moment, the woman was puzzled and wary. Could those fellows have deliberately set up a trap to lure them in? Naturally, Feng Mieshing did not know what the Monster Life Royal Court people were thinking. If he knew, he would probably vomit blood in anger. Lure your grandpa? Who was luring you? Setting up a trap? Right now, he was so angry that he was about to lose his mind. How would he have the time to plot against others? Just as they lost track of Fan Ping and returned to their original spot, they also saw the few dead people. In the end, before they could even get angry, Fan Ping, who had just run away, came back again. This time, he did not do anything at all. After abandoning a small city, that fellow broke through the air and fled. In the end, the small city exploded, killing a few people in an instant. Feng Mieshing and the others unleashed their celestiality to defend against the self-detonation of mentality. They had no time to care about outsiders. At this moment, it was not them who did not want to let Fan Ping go. Instead, it was Fan Ping who was entangled with them. Chasing after that fellow, they were not as fast as him, and could not run as fast as him. Not only could they not catch up to him, but among them, only he and Huan Muqing could entangle the opponent. If the others chased after him alone, they would die. It was not that none of these people were martial artists who were fast. However, the fast ones might not necessarily have strong combat strength. As long as they left the main force, that fellow would immediately counterattack. At this moment, Feng Mieshing and the others did not dare to split up anymore. They also did not dare to go after him alone, or else someone would die. Wait! In the end, after calculating their losses, Feng Mieshing said these words. Wait for those few quasi-commanders to break through. Feng Mieshing calmed down. If this went on, they might be dragged down by one person. However, as long as those few broke through, the other party's speed and self-detonation of the undying god would no longer be a fatal threat. Chapter 573. Inside a small valley. Fan Ping's face was pale, but his eyes were bright. At this moment, a hole had appeared in Fan Ping's chest. It was wriggling to repair the injury. Beside him, Li Han Song and the others were also pale. Wang Jinyang looked at the hole in his chest and said with an ugly expression, "Don't go there anymore." The rank 9 inner armor was pierced. This was beyond everyone's expectations. Previously, a flying dagger condensed by a mentality-vitality powerhouse broke a small hole in the rank 9 inner armor, but in reality, it did not penetrate the inner armor. Unexpectedly, just now, when Fan Ping went to do the self-destruct bomb thing again, he was blocked. A few mentality-vitality powerhouses joined forces to unleash a big move, condensing a king's shadow. With one blow, it pierced through Fan Ping's rank 9 inner armor. If not for the inner armor blocking for a moment, he would have exploded directly. Fan Ping swallowed the life essence and laughed. "It's okay, I won't die. Did you guys notice that when they joined forces to unleash this move, their flesh shriveled instantly and their combat strength disappeared immediately? I think they can't use this kind of trump card infinitely. It's not energy that's being consumed, it's more like bloodline power. I'd like to see how many more times the rest of them can unleash it, Fan Ping. Wang Jinyang said sternly. Your inner armor has been pierced. If they do it again, if your skull is smashed, you'll die for sure. I know, I'll try my best to avoid the skull. Fan Ping said, chuckling. Actually, this is a good opportunity. On their side, there are heavy casualties. Many of them are injured. There are only a few vitality left. Although his inner armor was blasted by someone just now, Fan Ping was not someone who would suffer losses. Before he left, he once again self-destructed his mentality. The others could still avoid it and block it. Those fellows who joined forces to unleash the ultimate move almost did not have any ability to block it, exploding instantly. Such a big move, even if the remaining people could use it, Fan Ping felt that they would not dare to use it. What happened before? Those who used their life-saving ultimate moves did not save their lives. Instead, they were killed by Fan Ping. Would the people from the monster plant's royal court dare to exhaust their flesh and continue to unleash? Fan Ping, Li Hansong, and the rest did not know what to say. This fellow was really too awesome, so awesome that he, a rank 6, was wearing a rank 9 inner armor. Logically speaking, it would not be a problem for others to wear it up to rank 8. Fan Ping, on the other hand, had only been a few days and his inner armor had been pierced. If MC Mayu's grandmasters found out about this, they would probably be stunned. In order to save Fan Ping's life, MC Mayu tried their best to give Fan Ping all the good stuff, including this inner armor. It was also the best one. Li Changxing and the others felt that even if Fan Ping encountered a rank 8 martial artist, he might not be able to penetrate the inner armor. But now, not long after Fan Ping put it on, it was pierced by someone. As Fan Ping said that, he rubbed his forehead and said, I've self-destructed too many times. I can't do it a few more times. I need to slow down. Old Zhao, have you seen how many of them are left? Yao Qingjuan's face was deathly pale. He had overexerted his mental energy. Upon hearing Fan Ping's question, Yao Qingjun said, It should be 45. Otherwise, it would be 46. There are still 5 at the Blood and Essence Unity realm. More than that, Fan Ping muttered. There should be more. I remember that there are still a few that I haven't seen. They should be hiding and preparing to break through. But if I calculated, there shouldn't be more than 10 at the Blood and Essence Unity realm. Having said that, Fan Ping chuckled. It hasn't even been a day. Let's waste time and kill them one by one. Rank 7 breakthrough, even if it's at the boundary, can it be done in less than 2 or 3 days? 2 or 3 days is enough for me to kill these guys. When the time comes, even if a rank 7 comes, it won't be a problem. Wang Jinyang reminded. That Feng Miexing and the other guy are very strong. They haven't used any ultimate moves yet. Fan Ping, don't be careless. Fan Ping nodded. Then, his eyebrows twitched. He said, Let's go. Look for Fatty. Look for him? Yes. That guy has a killer weapon on him. Last time, he said that he would have no problem handing over a few Blood and Essence Unity to him. Now, there aren't many left. Old Zhao, you guys are in charge of getting rid of the others. Let Fatty get rid of those Blood and Essence Unity. I'll fight Feng Miexing and that Prince Locust. We'll get our revenge overnight. These guys actually dared to hunt me down. I took some divine weapons. They should be thanking me for not killing them. Everyone did not care about Fan Ping's overbearing and shameless words. The monster plant's royal court and them were mortal enemies. It was only right for them to be overbearing to their enemies. More than half an hour later, in a tree hole, Jiang Chao's expression changed. When he heard familiar voices coming from outside the tree hole, only then did he poke his head out carefully. He breathed a sigh of relief. You're all fine. It's good that you're all fine. As Jiang Chao said that, he glanced at the few of them. Seeing that they seemed to be in a bad state, he could not help but ask, Are you injured? But it's good that you're not dead. No one's hunting you down now, right? Fan Ping did not speak. He looked left and right before smiling. Fatty, you've been hiding here for the whole day? This guy did not seem to have moved much. Jiang Chao grinned. There are monsters nearby. It's one of their lair. I used the feces of peerless monsters to scare them away. Then I snuck over. Then I removed the scent and left a little bit. These monsters came back, but they didn't dare to come here. It's very safe here. Needless to say, this fatty had a way to protect himself. The periphery was full of monsters. If he hid here, most people would not be able to rush in. Even if they knew that there were people hiding here, they would still have to think of a way to kill those crazy monsters on the periphery. These crazy monsters even dared to attack rank 9. However, the peerless aura still scared them away. But to other people, it was not so easy. When Fan Ping heard his explanation, he could not help but laugh. You're quite capable. But when the terrain changed, didn't these monsters leave? They're already used to it. No matter how the terrain changes, they're too lazy to move. Having said that, Jiang Chao asked, How are you guys? Did you snatch a divine weapon? Amazing. Jiang Chao was sincere in his support. They were amazing. There were so many people, but they could still snatch a divine weapon and retreat in one piece. He had to admit that they were amazing. One? As Jiang Chao said that, he observed for a while. Seeing that Wang Jinyang had changed his saber, he could not help but ask. Fan Ping laughed. One? Do I need to waste so much time here just for a divine weapon? As he said that, Fan Ping looked at him and smiled. You know that I have a storage ring, right? Jiang Chao's expression changed. He laughed dryly. That, don't deny it. Don't think too much about it. The storage ring is a test product of the government. Minister Zhang gave it to me. It's not a secret. Ah? Jiang Chao really did not know about this. In reality, not many people knew about it. Zhang Tao had told Li Changxing about this before. But a lie was a lie after all. Fan Ping did not want to make it too public. Unless it was absolutely necessary, he would not reveal it. The government has created a storage ring? Jiang Chao came to his senses at this time and asked hurriedly. Fan Ping nodded. Yes, but it's not very stable. Mine is also a rare premium product. It's the only stable one. Then how many divine weapons did you snatch this time? Fan Ping grinned. Do you want to guess? Seeing Fan Ping's smile and the other's satisfaction, Jiang Chao asked carefully. 5? Hee. Could it be 10? Hee. Fan Ping had just finished mocking him when Li Hansong said scornfully, Look at how petty you are. 10? We've already snatched 32. There are still many that we haven't had time to pick up. This time, Jiang Chao was really shocked. These guys were not kidding, were they? When I said 10, I was exaggerating. You're telling me that you've snatched more than 30? If the divine weapons were snatched, then what about the people? Before this, Jiang Chao thought that they had escaped after being hunted for a day. Now, it looked like it was not the case. Thinking of this, Jiang Chao asked hurriedly, What about the people from the Monster Plant's King Court? This is why I came to you. We've been hunting them for a day, but they kept using big moves. It's very troublesome. Don't you have a big killer weapon? Use this. This time, we'll destroy them. Destroy. Jiang Chao's mouth opened wide. He asked in a daze, How many people do they have? More than 40. Currently, there are only 5 who have achieved mentality-vitality fusion. I'll go install the 2 strongest ones. I'll leave the remaining 3 to you. Fatty, can you handle them? More than 40. Jiang Chao suddenly slapped himself in the face. Mother ***, you guys must be fooling me. You must be being hunted and have no choice but to use me as a scapegoat. How was that possible? There were dozens of them who had achieved mentality-vitality fusion. Now you're telling me that there are only 5 left? Moreover, Fan Ping said they were hunting the other party, not being hunted. Jiang Chao was still in shock. Fang Ping frowned slightly. Why? You can't handle 3 of them? Although there were not many people from the monster plant's king court, Old Yao's mentality had been greatly depleted. Fatty was useless. Fang Ping was fighting 1 against 5, and there were 2 stronger ones. He might not win. He could continue to wear them down, but now, the people from the monster plant's king court were really on the run. Fang Ping was worried that if this went on, the other party would escape their pursuit. No. Jiang Chao swallowed. That Fang Ping, did you guys really kill more than half of them? Duh! Fang Ping said unhappily. Are you doubting me? Fatty, do you think the divine weapons I snatched were for nothing? As soon as he finished speaking, a large number of divine weapons appeared around Fang Ping. Seeing these divine weapons piled up densely together, Jiang Chao fainted. He believed it too. How many people did they have to kill to snatch so many divine weapons? Killing God. 4 people, chasing after the people from the monster plant's king court. Now, they were simply going to destroy them. These fellows were the living definition of bandits. Killing people and seizing their treasures. This was vividly reflected by these fellows. Jiang Chao took a deep breath and said immediately, 3 of them have achieved mentality-vitality fusion. Unless they are together, I have no way of killing them together. Can you guys bring them together? Of course, it's not just mentality-vitality fusion. It doesn't matter if there are more of them, but they can't be more than 10 meters apart. If they're separated, I can only kill one of them. Fang Ping asked. Earlier, someone used the king's shadow to pierce through my chest. Even my rank 9 inner armor was broken. Is this an ultimate move? Hearing that, Jiang Chao said immediately, No. This is a move left behind by a rank 9 powerhouse. That shadow is just a remnant of the rank 9 powerhouse's Tao of origin. If I'm not mistaken, it will dissipate not long after it appeared. At most, it can only attack once, right? Fang Ping looked at him for a while again. This fatty was quite knowledgeable. He nodded and said, Uh-huh. What about you? Me? Jiang Chao smiled smugly. I'm different from them. Actually, ultimate powerhouses won't give people a life-saving move so easily. They're mainly worried about the leakage of origin. But then again, there might be people in the monster plant's king court who have ultimate life-saving moves too. You better be careful. However, as long as you're not in a life-threatening situation, you can't use it under normal circumstances. What do you mean? Jiang Chao said immediately. Ultimate life-saving moves are usually passive. In other words, if you don't kill them, they won't be triggered. It's the same for me. So, if I really want to use it, I'll have to hurt myself. I'll have to kill myself. I'm guessing that Feng Yexing is probably the only one who has it. You better not kill him. If you kill him, once the counterattack is triggered, even a rank 7 might be killed. Jiang Chao continued. But if it really comes to that, the few of you, cough. If there's someone who doesn't want to live, you can exhaust his plaything first. You can exchange your life for his, then you can kill him. Fang Ping shot him a look. Jiang Chao's expression stiffened. He laughed dryly. I can't. I'm not his match. Fang Ping sneered. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about your brain. If it really comes to a point where we can kill him, there are many ways. Why do we have to do it ourselves? We can just throw him into a monster nest. No matter how many moves we have, they'll be exhausted. Forget it. I'm too lazy to talk to you about this. Since you're fine with it, then we'll create an opportunity for you. You kill those 3 mentality-vitality fusion. I'll protect your life after this. Jiang Chao said softly. You really want to go? Fang Ping, you guys have already snatched so many divine weapons. Why don't you forget it? Fang Ping stared at him. After a while he said, So you're not willing? Forget it then. Let's go. No. That's not what I mean. Jiang Chao hurriedly said, a little distressed. I'm worried that we've killed too many of them here. If one of them runs away and escapes and tells the powerhouses guarding outside, then we'll be in trouble. As soon as he said that, Fang Ping frowned slightly. This was really hard to say. Absolute Peak doesn't care? Of course, Jiang Chao said helplessly. But we'll be killed the moment we get out. Even if Absolute Peak kills them, we'll still be dead, right? That makes sense. Fang Ping nodded. Very quickly, he said. But at this point, it doesn't matter anymore. If it really doesn't work, when it's time to go out, I'll go out first. The other party might want to kill us all in one go. When that time comes, if they don't kill me, I'll go to Mount Royal Sea to ask for reinforcements. Beside him, Wang Jinyang said slowly, It's better if I go out first. If someone really goes out to spread the news, you'll definitely be on their kill list. I won't attract too much attention, we'll see. It's still early. Fang Ping laughed. Who knows, if we kill all these guys, no one will go out to spread the news. Seeing Fang Ping's determination, Jiang Chao could only say, All right then. But after I unleash my power, I won't be able to retaliate. You guys must protect me no matter what. Otherwise, I'll be finished. Definitely. Fang Ping agreed readily. He laughed. Let's go and kill them. These guys were laughing so savagely just now. I've been wanting to kill them for a long time. After we kill them all, we'll bring you to fish for other good stuff. At this moment, they were still at the outermost area of the battlefield. There were very few places with real treasures here. The deeper they went, the more there would be. Fan Ping and the others did not have the mood to look for more in the outermost area. They did not say anything else. They smeared some Absolute Peak's feces on their bodies, scaring off the monsters. Then, they chased after Feng Mieshing and the others. In the wilderness, inside a dilapidated building that only had some foundations left. Feng Mieshing did not say a word. There was fatigue in his eyes. His anger, fury, and murderous intent from before had dissipated quite a bit. That lunatic had been chasing after them for a whole day. On this day, that fellow had self-destructed the immortal god more than 10 times. Feng Mieshing was really tired. He was also really helpless. How could this happen? Every time, that fellow would leave behind a small city materialized and self-destruct. Then, he would escape quickly. A few people were killed in one explosion. Until now, even if the others were not dead, many of their mentality had been shattered. Holding a small, luxurious wine pot in his hand, Feng Mieshing took a sip. His slightly tired aura dissipated. He looked around vigilantly. He also used his mentality to probe the ground. Feng Mieshing only heaved a sigh of relief when he confirmed that there were no more movements. A few times earlier, that fellow had been hiding under the ground in the direction they were heading, then suddenly unleashed his power. He had killed them all by surprise. After a few times, Feng Mieshing's experience increased by leaps and bounds. He could not wait to dig 3 feet into the ground before moving. After confirming that the fellow was not chasing after them, Feng Mieshing said in a gloomy tone, That fellow must die. If someone like him doesn't die, he will be a great threat to the majestic court. Huai Muqing nodded solemnly and said with a grave expression, He's only at the warlord level. Once he breaks through to the commander level and can still do this, he will indeed be a great threat to us. But now, we can't kill him. He has escaped our pursuit time and time again. His injuries have healed in an instant because he has the spring of life with him. The immortal god also recovers extremely quickly. Unless we kill him in one blow, there's nothing we can do about him. Feng Mieshing glanced at him and said after a while, Lord Huai Muqing didn't leave anything for you. Huai Muqing's expression changed. Feng Mieshing said in a low voice, Huai Muqing, there's no need to hide anything from us at this point. That fellow will come again. If we don't kill him, we'll all die sooner or later. Only by killing him will we have a chance to leave this place alive. When Huai Muqing did not speak, Feng Mieshing said, I have to maintain some deterrence. Otherwise, that witch won't let us go. I'm the one she wants to kill, not you. As long as I'm alive, she won't dare to do anything to you. Moreover, Bai Qing and the others will break through very soon. As long as we meet up with them, I'll get someone to protect you even if you don't have any life-saving treasures. When Huai Muqing still did not speak, Feng Niesheng said with an unfriendly expression, "Otherwise, if this drags on, Bai Qing and the others won't be able to break through and meet up with us. We'll all be killed by him. Huai Muqing, if I die, even if you leave this place alive, Lord Huai Muqing will not protect you." Huai Muqing's eyes flashed with anger when he heard this. He sighed and said, "All right, I'll attack him if he shows up again. But if I can't kill him, I don't believe that he won't die." Feng Niesheng gritted his teeth. He had come with great ambitions and had wanted to go all out this time. This time, more than 100 people from the majestic court had come. He had subdued some of them, and he was prepared to use this opportunity to subdue the others. More than 100 commander-level powerhouses were considered a considerable force, even in the restricted area. Moreover, these people all had powerful backgrounds. If he could subdue them, he would truly have the capital to compete for the position of the majestic court lord. Many of the people who had led teams into the majestic court battlefield in the previous few batches had now become candidates for the position of majestic court lord. As long as they could reach the divine general level soon, they would be qualified to become the majestic court lord. Even if the position of majestic court lord was governed by the true king hall, it was still nothing. The true kings of the true king hall usually did not care too much about other people's business. The majestic court lord was the pinnacle for them. If he did not become a true king, the mountains and rivers that spanned hundreds of millions of miles would be under his control. Everyone below the true king level would be under his command. Moreover, once he became the majestic court lord, he could take the most common path in the restricted area. He might even be able to quickly enter the true king realm. The current majestic court lord's source had been destroyed by the Netherworld king many years ago, so he would not be able to live for long. Unfortunately, his wishful thinking was only wishful thinking. This time, he had defeated a few others and obtained the position of commander-in-chief. However, who would have known that as soon as he entered, Feng Niesheng would encounter the biggest setback in his life? So many people had died. Forget about the heir to the throne, the true kings of the true king hall would probably want to skin him alive. He did not know if the royal ancestor would be furious this time. If the royal ancestor did not protect him, he would really be in trouble. Glancing at Huai Muqing from the corner of his eye, Feng Niesheng let out a cold humph in his heart. This fellow probably had some ulterior motives when he entered this time. However, at this point, any ulterior motives were useless. If this went on, even if the two of them did not die, everyone else would die. If that happened, both of them would not be able to explain themselves. Huai Muqing did not speak anymore, sinking into silence. He was also thinking about a very important question. Just as Feng Niesheng and the others were thinking about life outside the wilderness. Fan Ping glanced at the dilapidated building from afar, rubbing his chin. There were people living here in the past? Jiang Chao nodded. There were buildings and catacombs, humans living here. I asked my grandfather before. He said that in the inner area, there are palace-like buildings. This might be where the second king's royal court was. My grandfather said that he had been to the inner area before. Zhang Ping didn't tell us because we wouldn't go. Actually, there are many good things in the inner area. In the rank 9 area, there are even complete palace-like buildings. If you're lucky, it's even possible to pick up a paragon's corpse. Of course, it's very dangerous. If a paragon is dead, after a long time, their Tao of origin will become one with the Tao of origin here. If a corpse comes back to life, you'll be finished. Of course, a paragon's corpse is very rare. I heard my grandfather say that a paragon's corpse rushed out of the palace. That time, almost all the rank 9 martial artists in the rank 9 area were slaughtered. Only a few survived. After that, some people speculated that the complete palace might be the second king's resting place. As for the paragon who came back to life, he might be the second king's guardian. A corpse can still come back to life after death? Then how do we know that the other party is dead? Of course we know. He's definitely dead because if he's alive, he'll be impacted by the chaos Tao of origin. Besides, the other party doesn't look like he's conscious. He probably only retained his physical strength. Otherwise, under the envelopment of mentality, no one can survive. How can anyone come out? Having said that, Jiang Chao continued, actually, someone in Star Town has experienced this before. It happened not many years ago, maybe 80 or 90 years ago. Back then, a group of people died in Star Town. Otherwise, there would be more rank 9s in Star Town now. All these years, many people in Star Town have died here too. Back then, someone made it back alive. He's the Jiang family's current family head. Now, he's also a strong rank 9. He said this himself. It can't be fake. Fan Ping nodded slightly, smiling. Don't tell me the catacomb's second king is really sleeping here? That I don't know. Having said that, Jiang Chao added, oh right, there are some buildings here that might have been sealed after the human powerhouses died. Only us humans can enter. Encountering a building like this is a great opportunity. The powerhouses who died here were all very strong. Under normal circumstances, even the weakest ones had the strength of a rank 8 golden body. The strong ones might even be at Paragon. Of course, no one has encountered them before. However, even if they encountered a rank 8 golden body, there are still benefits. Weapons, cultivation methods, these are very common. Some people will leave them behind. Even if they don't have these, there will still be some other things left behind. Grandpa said that in the later stages of the great battle here, it was probably the aftermath of powerhouses fighting each other that killed the others. Actually, many people did not die from fighting each other. They were hiding from the aftermath. In the end, they still died here. However, during this period of time, most people knew that they were going to die. It's very common for them to leave behind the most precious things in their lives. Fan Ping nodded, smiling. I know this. Isn't the token that Instructor Zhang mentioned found in those places? But previously, I thought that I wouldn't encounter it in the periphery. I didn't expect there to be buildings in the periphery too. Although the buildings in the distance were very dilapidated, this was the first time Fan Ping had seen traces of human survival since he came here. This place might have been complete decades or centuries ago. Later on, someone took away the opportunity and destroyed it. He did not look at it anymore. After all, it had been explored for countless years. It was a fact that there were fewer and fewer good things. After staring at that place for a while, Fan Ping said in a low voice, these fellows found such an open place. It's not easy to deal with them. The other party was now in the center of the wasteland. It was indeed not easy to get close. Once they were discovered, the other party would be prepared. Then they would have time to prepare their trump card. Just as Fan Ping was feeling troubled about how to get close, Fan Ping suddenly sighed. Even the heavens want them to die. We can only follow their destiny. Beside him, the others looked dazed too. Fan Ping had just finished lamenting when the environment changed. Foam Extermination and the others who were in the center of the wasteland earlier were now in a forest. Tall trees blocked Fan Ping and the others' vision. However, everyone could still feel the other party's aura. Jiang Chao glanced at Fan Ping. Mother Kerr, your mouth is too sharp, isn't it? Fan Ping had no time to waste. Here, he had already activated the aura shield. There were 5 people. He had to shield 4 of them. That would consume 100 million wealth points every minute. If he dragged it on for an hour, that would be 6 billion. He could not afford to waste it. Imperial Flight ambushed them. Fan Ping did not waste any time. He quickly led the others into the forest. In the forest, Foam Extermination and the others were also very helpless. They were already preparing to retreat. They could not stay here anymore. That fellow loved ambushing people in this kind of dilapidated place. They had been tricked in this place many times, and many of them had died. In this place, it was easy for Fan Ping to escape. Chapter 574. just as Fang Ping and the others were about to sneak in and kill the people from the monster plant's royal court. Hundreds of miles away, Du Hong led everyone forward and said with a grave expression, "Where are the people from the monster plant royal court?" "Yes, where is he?" They had agreed to hunt them down the moment they entered. In the end, after running for an entire day, he did not even see the shadow of a ghost. Su Zissa whispered, "Are they lost?" As soon as he said those words, the crowd fell silent. Stop joking. After all, they were a group of level 6 experts. With so many of them moving, they would inevitably leave some traces. Of course, due to the changes in the terrain, there wouldn't be many traces left behind, and it would be very difficult to find them. However, there were still remnants of his aura. They were different from Fang Ping and the others. Those fellows spent most of their time in a state of sealing off their auras. If the monster plant's royal court really wanted to kill them, logically speaking, it would be normal to encounter some people, let alone all of them. But now that a day had passed, they really didn't even see the shadow of a ghost, except for some demonic beasts. Off to the side, Zheng Nanqi said, "I wonder how Fang Ping and the others are doing. That bastard Jiang Chao is so stupid to insist on following Fang Ping and the others. If he dies here, how will he tell Grandpa Jiang when he gets back?" Speaking of this, Du Hong and the others were also helpless. Those guys, are they still alive? Right when Du Hong was thinking about all of this, the nearby Buto said, "General Du, since no one from the Demon Plant Royal Court is chasing us, then we have to leave as well." They had been running for a day. The main reason they gathered together before was because they were afraid that they would be killed by the monster plant's royal court. Now that the other party didn't chase after them, it was possible that they had given up on killing them. Since that was the case, they would have to find their own opportunities. They could only stay here for a month at most. If they stayed here for too long, it would be easy for problems to arise. Now that they had been delayed for a day, they had to leave. Du Hong nodded and did not say anything else. With so many people gathered together, there was no such thing as a fortuitous encounter. Not to mention that they didn't encounter them. Even if they did, it would be easy for the distribution to be uneven. In next to no time, Butoy and the others left. After they left, Su Zissa suddenly said, "Do you guys think it's Fang Ping who's keeping them busy?" Li Yiming was speechless. "Where's your brain? Do you really think that guy is a god? Blind! There were only a few of them. How many people did the other party have? Furthermore, he had entangled the other party. It was hard to say whether those fellows were still alive or dead." "I told you not to take risks, but you insisted. I used to think that I was reckless enough, but now I know. I am nothing. Those fellows are reckless. Take it easy. It's fine if they die, but if they're not dead, don't provoke them in Stellar Sky City." "Savage!" The 4 of them dared to block the door and wanted to kill more than 100 experts. If they died, they would be asking for it. But if they didn't die, Li Yiming felt that he should be more careful the next time he met them. It was fine if his ancestors were still alive, but if they were gone one day, he would definitely take revenge on them. Li Yiming used to think that he was a reckless man, but now he didn't think so at all. There were people who were more reckless than him. Su Zissa nodded hurriedly and said, "Maybe they really did hold us back." Grandpa said, "Fang Ping and the others are a little strange. They let me use money to buy my life when I'm in danger. I just didn't expect that they wouldn't be with us as soon as we entered." Everyone was slightly surprised by his words. Su Haoran actually said that to his granddaughter? Using money to buy one's life. It was not easy for a rank 9 to say that. Beside them, Du Hong suddenly said, "Before we left, Deputy Commander-in-Chief Li met with me. He said that if there were any difficulties during critical moments, we could look for Fang Ping for help." "He also said, what did he say?" Li Yiming asked curiously. Du Hong was a little strange. He said slowly. He said, coaxing him a little, "General Fang, how should I put it? Don't use military orders or laws to talk. When you look for his help, act more pitiful. Cough, cough, cough." Everyone did not know whether to laugh or cry. Acting pitiful? All right, it might not be unreasonable. That fellow was amenable to coaxing but not coercion. The harder you were, the harder he was. Acting pitiful might be useful. As Du Hong said that, he shook his head. Forget it. We don't know where they are now. We didn't encounter any danger either. Let's continue. It seemed like Deputy Commander-in-Chief Li's ultimate move of acting pitiful did not need to be used. Deputy Commander-in-Chief probably did not expect these fellows to go crazy the moment they entered. As for Fang Ping and the others, Du Hong felt that even if they did not die, they would be in an extremely pitiful state now. Perhaps they were being hunted by many powerhouses. Perhaps someone had already died. Perhaps they were completely wiped out. Du Hong sighed in his heart. What a pity! If Fang Ping and the others had really followed him, they would be much safer now. Nothing would happen to them. Right now, their lives would probably be extremely pitiful. Ah! A shrill scream was heard. In the forest, Fang Ping's screams were heard again and again. Opposite him, Feng Miexing and Huai's expressions were extremely ugly. Mother of Ker, I was ambushed by you. Why are you screaming? As they were thinking, Fang Ping looked furious and annoyed. He bellowed furiously. How dare you drink my life essence? I'm going to kill you! Bastard! Feng Miexing was furious. That was his. After being ambushed by Fang Ping earlier, he was slightly injured and drank a little bit of the fountain of life. In the end, this fellow was actually shameless to this extent. Did he do this? Kill! Feng Miexing and Huai Muqing were furious. They had enough of such shamelessness. Previously, this fellow always ran after ambushing. This time, he did not run. If that was the case, then they would kill him. They were furious. Fang Ping was also furious to the extreme. Life essence. Their small flagon was filled with life essence. There was probably a lot of it, but now these people actually drank it in front of him. They deserved to be killed. They must be killed. As soon as the three of them came into contact, Feng Miexing and Huai Muqing were dragged into the materialization by Fang Ping. As soon as they entered the hut, Feng Miexing suddenly looked at Huai Muqing. This fellow was asking for it. Kill him. How stupid was it to use the materialization's core to fight? Huai Muqing did not move. He said quickly, try to kill him directly first. At this moment, Fang Ping did not leave. He had the attitude of fighting to the end. Moreover, he was still in the core of his materialization. He did not need to use his trump card. Feng Miexing thought about it and agreed. He and Huai Muqing were both top-notch rank 6 powerhouses. If the two of them joined forces, they could even fight an early-stage rank 7. They might be able to kill the other party. This time, the two of them did not waste time talking. One of them held a halberd, the other a long sword. Both were fine rank 8 divine weapons. They unleashed a powerful force and charged toward Fang Ping. In the hut, Fang Ping and the three shadows joined forces to besiege the two of them. The sounds of banging could be heard incessantly. However, Fang Ping soon had a headache. These two fellows were indeed the direct descendants of a paragon. They were wearing accessories that could seal off mentality. In his hut, including the shadows of Round Face and his parents, they were all mentality materializations. Their main attack was mentality as well. Not only were the two of them wearing these things, but the quality was probably the best too. Their bodies glowed continuously. The three shadows' attacks had a limited effect on them. Among the two of them, Feng Miexing was mainly attacking Fang Ping, while Huai Muqing was mainly destroying the hut. Looking at Huai Muqing's ecstatic look, yelling at Feng Miexing to hold Fang Ping back, Fang Ping was speechless. Destroy it all you want. If your F*King destruction speed is faster than my recovery speed, I'll consider you guys awesome. I've killed so many of you, and you still don't understand? So what if I'm the materialization core? Isn't it just consuming a little more mentality? Do you think I lack this bit of mentality? If you're so capable, smash the hut into pieces with one blow. Then I'll consider you the best. It'd be best if there's nothing left. Otherwise, even if there's only a little bit of wall dust left, I can still recover. I won't die. Of course, this was a good thing. These two idiots kept destroying the hut, so Fan Ping did not have to fight one against two. Fan Ping and Feng Yexing fought with all their might. It had to be said that this monster plant's royal court's commander-in-chief still had some skills. In the hut, Fan Ping's mentality suppressed him, but the other became braver the more he fought. Although he did not have any golden bones or anything, he was still evenly matched with Fan Ping. This was somewhat praising Fan Ping. The effect of Fan Ping's mentality suppression was weakened, but when the other fought, he relied almost entirely on his stronger physique, exchanging blows with the other. As they fought, Fan Ping still had the leisure to talk nonsense. He did not care about the damage to his physique, saying as he hacked, "How many of you have broken through?" Feng Yexing said nothing, continuing to attack Fan Ping in a frenzy. "Did anyone go out? Why did you destroy the corpses? It's inhumane. I don't even know how many people died. Otherwise, I could calculate if there's anyone left alive." At this moment, more than half of the hut had been demolished. Beside him, Huai Muqing sneered. He was still so arrogant even on the verge of death. Did this fellow from the land of rebirth really think that he was immortal? "Your Highness, why don't you give me the remaining divine weapons and other things, and I won't kill you? How about that?" "Right, I heard that there's a true king hall in the royal court. All the true kings in the royal court are registered in the true king hall. How many true kings do you have here?" This time, Feng Yexing replied, sneering. "In the true king hall, there are more than 100 lord true kings. Get lost!" Fan Ping hacked off a few of his fingers while spitting out a few pieces of his internal organs, laughing. "Seriously, how many do you have? I'll talk about our side first. We have 88 paragons here. How many do you have? I'll tell you when I'm dead!" Feng Yexing roared, striking with his halberd, causing Fan Ping's golden bones to crackle continuously. Fan Ping's saber slashed out countless shadows, slashing at the other party's chest until it rumbled. The other party also had an advanced internal armor. Fan Ping could not break it, but he had slashed Feng Yexing until he spat blood. On the other side, the excitement in Huai Muqing's eyes intensified. Only a few walls were left of the small house that he had destroyed. Seeing his excited look, Fan Ping said helplessly, "Brother, is it fun to demolish a house?" "If it's fun, continue." As soon as he finished speaking, the dilapidated small house was restored to its original state in an instant. Huai Muqing was stunned at first, then he flew into a rage. This time, Huai Muqing did not demolish the house. In a towering rage, he charged toward Fan Ping swiftly. Both of them were rank 6 powerhouses. When they attacked Fan Ping together, Fan Ping could only retreat in defeat. The damage caused by mentality had been weakened, and Fan Ping's combat strength had also been reduced. It was difficult for him to take down both of them in a short time. Similarly, even though both of them were forcing Fan Ping to retreat, they still had to divide their attention to defend against the damage caused by mentality. Although the mentality prohibition accessory could defend against mentality attacks, they still needed to expend energy to maintain it. Otherwise, their defense would be broken very quickly. The three of them were fighting fiercely in the house. Feng Yexing and Jiang Chao could not see what was happening outside. However, both of them knew that Fan Ping's companions were definitely holding them back. Otherwise, those people would have come to help. They could not see it, but naturally, Fan Ping could. Right now, those people were actually in his small town. While he was fighting with both of them in the house, outside, Fan Ping was also expending his mentality continuously, isolating the small town area and trying to create opportunities for others. However, those buildings were more illusory after all. People were constantly breaking through them and gathering together. Moreover, some people knew that this was Fan Ping's materialized object. Some martial artists were using their ultimate moves to destroy the small town wantonly. Fan Ping's face was turning paler and paler. These people destroying the small town would also hurt his mentality. Seeing that Jiang Chao and the three mentality-vitality fusion powerhouses were almost gathered together, Fan Ping did not care about this anymore. He blocked the long halberd's attack with his saber and said again, "Princes, why don't we coexist peacefully? If we continue killing like this, it won't be worth it if others take advantage of us. I can sense it. The people from the Monster Life Royal Court seem to be following us. Die." Feng Mieshing was furious. "You've killed so many of our people, and now you want to coexist peacefully? The people from the Monster Life Royal Court were weaker than them previously. If this guy had not killed them so miserably, why would they be afraid of that witch?" The enraged Feng Mieshing's strength increased by another 30%, forcing Fan Ping to retreat continuously. Beside him, Huai Muqing's sword was also cunning, his sword not leaving Fan Ping's vital points. Fan Ping had vital points, and there were many of them. Although his skull had turned into a golden bone, even so, his eyes, his mouth, these were all vital parts. If a sword pierced through Fan Ping's eyes and crushed his brain, Fan Ping would also die. There were also parts like his heart. Golden bones were difficult to crush, but if his heart was completely crushed, Fan Ping would not have a chance to recover. Both of them were not newbies fighting for the first time. After a few exchanges, they had already figured out Fan Ping's vital points. Feng Mieshing fought Fan Ping head-on. Huai Muqing kept looking for opportunities, and every time, he went straight for the vital points. Fan Ping was getting a headache from this guy's attacks. He used his forehead to block a few swords, and every time, his forehead would be stabbed with a loud bang. If this went on, Fan Ping felt like he was going to be beaten silly like Iron Head. Even though he was beaten to a bloody pulp, Fan Ping still could not stay idle. "Prince Huai, that's the name, right? Are you related to that King Huai?" As soon as he said that, Huai Muqing continued to attack while sneering. "I didn't expect the royal ancestors' fame to have spread in the land of rebirth." Fan Ping sneered. "Yes, it has spread. I've also just heard that King Huai was previously disciplined by Warlord like a dog, and he fled in a panic." "Oh right, you guys know our language. Do you know what a dog is? Damn it! How dare you insult the royal ancestor?" Chapter 575. After all, even in the restricted area, these people would not casually insult the humans' paragons because it was really dangerous. If the humans' paragons were enraged and suddenly went berserk, no one would say anything if they killed them. Of course, this possibility was almost non-existent. The humans' paragons were not that free. These people would not recklessly attack the restricted area. However, it was common sense in the catacombs to maintain the necessary respect for true king powerhouses. Feng Mieshing's expression was also ugly. He said coldly, "Resurrected martial artist, leave your name. You have the right to let me remember you. In the future, all resurrected martial artists who are related to you must die." As soon as he finished speaking, Fan Ping's nose twitched. A black object smashed onto Feng Mieshing's head. Fan Ping grinned. "Booger. I have it. I haven't given birth in a long time. Do you want more? Bastard!" Feng Mieshing was going crazy. He roared, "Huai Muqing! Kill him!" The martial artists of the land of rebirth were too shameless. They did not have the demeanor of a martial arts powerhouse. Although he had not fought with the resurrected martial artists before, there were people from the royal court and his family. Even though his father's generation and his ancestors fought with the resurrected martial artists endlessly, and their hatred was as deep as the sea, they had once told him that the resurrected martial artists were hot-blooded and had strong martial willpower. However, this bastard had completely overturned his impression of the resurrected martial artists. He insulted the true king. While he was still fighting, he threw Booger at him. Feng Mieshing felt like he was going crazy. He was mad. Was this guy really a martial artist from the land of rebirth? As soon as Feng Mieshing finished speaking, Huai Muqing's expression changed slightly. Then, he hesitated no more. This guy was too hard to kill. He was really too hard to kill. Both of them joined forces to attack him. Other than causing some flesh wounds, his internal injuries were not serious. If this went on, they did not know how long it would take to kill him. Feng Yexing unleashed his power once again. He used all his strength to entangle Fan Ping. He roared, "Before you die, I'll give you a chance. Leave your name!" Fan Ping glanced at Huai Muqing, who was spurting blood at the longsword. His gaze was solemn, but he smiled. "Jiang Chao, the descendant of Warlord. If you have the guts, go and kill my ancestor. Descendant of the Battle King." Feng Yexing's expression changed slightly. He gritted his teeth and said, "You're Jiang Hao's younger brother, his only younger brother. You deserve to die even more." Even Huai Muqing, who was currently coughing up blood, roared furiously, "I'll kill you! All descendants of the Battle King should be killed!" Fan Ping was speechless when he saw how furious the two of them were. Damn, this identity doesn't seem too good. These two fellows were about to go berserk. What was Jiang Hao, the pervert, that Jiang Chao had mentioned? There was no need for Fan Ping to guess. Huai Muqing's eyes were blood-red as he roared furiously. "Jiang Hao tortured and killed my father. A debt of blood must be paid in blood." Feng Yexing said coldly. "Jiang Hao's younger brother, I didn't expect you to have the guts to enter the arena. Even if we don't kill you today, you will die without a doubt." Jiang Hao had tortured and killed too many martial artists in the rank 7 area. That was a freak. In front of so many restricted area powerhouses, he even caught a royal court rank 7, at the entrance, in the area where there was no exit, and tortured and killed a true king's descendant, a woman, in front of dozens of rank 19. That day, it almost caused a riot among the rank 9s. If not for the human powerhouses constantly berating them with the Summit Accord, a war would have broken out long ago. Even so, Jiang Hao was also a rare public enemy in recent years, the public enemy of the 4 royal courts. That fellow did not just torture and kill people from the Monster Plant's royal court, but also other royal courts. Of course, Fan Ping naturally did not know about these. He felt a little depressed. F***ck, these two fellows had gone berserk. That Jiang Chao fellow. Damn, he had taken the blame for him. This time he was depressed. However, they were already mortal enemies. Fan Ping did not care too much about this. He was just a little curious. How many outrageous things had Jiang Chao's brother done? He was even more hated than himself. At this time, Huai Muqing, who was beside him, had already vomited 3 liters of blood. His long sword was suffused with a glaring blood-red color. Fan Ping's heart palpitated. He roared, "Kill me! I have the Battle King's secret technique to protect me. Let's die together!" As soon as he said that, Huai Muqing's movements froze. Feng Yexing said furiously, "Kill him! I'll block it for you." Huai Muqing held the blood-red long sword in his hand. His face was deathly pale, his chi weak. He said in a low voice, "Let's do it together." Fan Ping's heart palpitated. Damn, they had really forced him to use his trump card. Fine, I'd better run away first. You've forced my hand. Let's perish together then. Fan Ping roared. His face turned pale instantly. Fresh blood spurted from his mouth, staining the Chandao red. Then, Fan Ping leaped into the air, ran out of the room, sealed the hut, and shouted, "Retreat!" After throwing these words, Fan Ping broke into a run. Inside the hut, Feng Yexing was stunned at first. Then, he roared furiously, "Bastard, kill him!" He was cursing Huai Muqing. "Why don't you do it?" He was frightened by the other party again. Huai Muqing's pale face turned red instantly. He was so angry that he wanted to vomit blood. Die! In his rage, Huai Muqing no longer cared whether the fellow had a trump card to counterattack or not. The blood-red longsword in his hand slashed downwards. Boom! An earth-shattering explosion was heard. In the distance, Fan Ping, who was running away, was bleeding profusely from his 7 orifices. When the sword landed, his hut exploded instantly, turning into nothingness. The small town was also destroyed in an instant, vanishing without a trace. Fan Ping's gaze went blank for a moment, then returned to normal. A piece of floorboard appeared out of thin air in front of him. Luckily, I dismantled the piece before I left. Fan Ping's face was drained of all color. It was too scary. 1/ destroyed a rank 7 materialization directly, leaving nothing behind. This meant that killing a rank 7 martial artist was just a matter of 1/. The other party destroyed his hut, probably wanting to destroy his mentality in one go. If a rank 7 came here, he would be crippled even if he did not die. These fellows were strong with a powerful ancestor. A rank 6 martial artist who could kill a rank 7 with 1/ was even more ridiculous than him. Fan Ping watched as these 2 fellows destroyed the small town. Old Wang and the rest still had not retreated. On the other side, Jiang Chao was still circling around with the 3 mentality-vitality fusion. Fan Ping was about to break down. These fellows were too slow. If he ran away, they might not be able to run away. At the thought of this, Fan Ping, who was initially walking in the air, suddenly lost all signs of life. Then, he fell from the sky directly. On the ground, some trees were smashed into pieces. Not far away, Huai Muqing's face was pale, but he was overjoyed when he saw this. Feng Miexing was also beaming with joy. This D*Ned fellow was finally dead. Mentality was destroyed. Even if he was a rank 9, he still had to die. Huai Muqing was still a little relieved. It was good that this fellow ran away. Otherwise, if he killed his physical body directly, the other party's Battle King's ultimate skill might be unleashed. If Feng Miexing did not block it for him, he would definitely die. Now that he ran away and destroyed his immortal god, the other party could not escape death. The result would be the same. Both of them could not care less about the others, quickly chasing after the place where Fan Ping fell. That fellow was really about to become their nightmare. As for Wang Jinyang and the rest, in their opinion, being entangled and without the help of Jian Hao's younger brother, they would definitely die. They did not need to worry too much. Both of them quickly flew toward the place where Fan Ping fell. On the other side, Jiang Chao also saw Fan Ping falling, slightly frightened. Fan Ping was dead? The small city was destroyed in an instant earlier, disappearing without a trace. He also knew what happened. Fan Ping was killed just like that. If he unleashed his ultimate skill now, he would be finished. Just as Jiang Chao was considering whether to escape immediately, Li Hansong and the rest did not care about Fan Ping at all, roaring, "Fatty, hurry!" Jiang Chao's heart skipped a beat. These fellows did not seem to be sad. At this moment, Jiang Chao was struggling in his heart. Should he use his ultimate skill or not? The goal this time was to kill the 3 mentality-vitality fusion martial artists. Now, the 3 of them were less than 50 meters away from him, and they were all together. This was also caused by Fan Ping's mentality guidance earlier. If he unleashed it now, killing the 3 of them would not be a problem. However, if he unleashed it and Fan Ping died, he would not be able to escape. As for Wang Jinyang and the rest, it would be good enough if they could protect themselves. However, if he did not unleash it and Fan Ping did not die, he would have ruined his entire plan, and he would have offended him badly. A look of struggle flashed across his face. Jiang Chao gritted his teeth. F***ck, he would take the risk. That fellow was as cunning as a ghost. How could he die so easily? If Fan Ping did not die and he ran away, he would be in deep trouble in the future. Fan Ping, I'm betting my life. I'm such a coward. I'm betting my life here today. If you really become a paragon. Countless thoughts surfaced in Jiang Chao's mind. Even at the last moment, he was still struggling. Betting my life. I'm most afraid of betting my life. What was wrong with him this time? He actually came to bet his life with these lunatics. His worldview was overturned. I won't be with them next time. Even if I have to invest, I want to stay safely at the back. Ancestor, please protect me. I can't die. This time, I'm risking my life for this. It's considered a friendship of life and death. If a few of these fellows really become paragons, then even if I'm not strong enough in the future, I'll still have a few paragons to protect me. I'll take the risk. Countless thoughts flashed through Jiang Chao's mind, but he did not waste any time. A piercing scream rang out. Jiang Chao stabbed his own heart, his feet flying toward the three mentality-vitality fusion martial artists. The moment the saber pierced his heart, an extremely powerful force erupted from his body. Fang Ping! I'm going all out. Jiang Chao roared. He was really going all out. If you die, I'm done for this time. Boom! A ray of light as dazzling as the sun rose. The light swept past. The three mentality-vitality fusion martial artists in front of him turned pale. They did not even have time to escape. The light swept past them, and they were turned into pieces. Jiang Chao's face was deathly pale. His entire body's vitality was depleted. He turned his head with difficulty to look in the direction where Fang Ping had fallen. If he really died, he would be done for. The moment he turned his head, Huai Muqing and Feng Nie seemed to be attracted by the commotion here. It was at this moment that a saber gleam filled with endless celestiality rose from the ground. Go to hell! Feng Niexing leaped into the air, breaking into a run. As for the so-called blocking the saber for someone else earlier, that was a joke. Feng Niexing's speed was faster than the saber gleam. Huai Muqing, who had just expended a lot of vitality, was a beat slower. The saber gleam flashed and disappeared. His entire person was cut in half instantly. Ancestor Wang. Huai Muqing only left this sentence behind. He still had too many plans that he had yet to carry out. Too many missions that he had yet to complete. Before this, he had even considered ambushing Feng Niexing, letting him unleash a death blow and perish together with the enemy. However, because he had the upper hand all along, he had given up on this plan. Who would have thought that the enemy whom he had killed in one blow would actually resurrect? Idiot! Fan Ping did not chase after Feng Niexing. He cursed. You believed me when I pretended to be dead. How stupid are you? How many times have I used this trick of pretending to be dead? Before I had the ability to conceal my aura, he had done it countless times. Why don't these catacombs martial artists learn their lesson? That's true. You don't know anyway. Fang Ping muttered. Fang Ping mumbled. His opponent's previous attack was really powerful. Even now, his mentality had not recovered yet. Even if he kept replenishing it, the system's replenishment seemed to be slow this time. It had somewhat damaged his foundation. The remaining small piece of floorboard was also somewhat messy and broken. Fang Ping's head was still hurting. He did not loot the corpse. Fang Ping might as well be straightforward. He kept the other party's corpse and everything else. At the same time, he could also confirm whether he was dead or not. It would not be too late to loot it later. The moment Fang Ping killed Huai Muqing, Feng Niexing fled. Not far away, Jiang Chao was so happy that he was about to explode. I won the bet! In the next moment, Jiang Chao roared. Brothers of one mind, our sharpness can cut through metal. We are brothers who have gone through thick and thin together. From now on, I'll rely on you guys to protect me. Fang Ping ignored him. He quickly rushed to Wang Jinyang and the rest's battle circle. As his mentality was shattered, Fang Ping could not use it for the time being. However, even if he did not use his mentality, coupled with the outburst of celestiality, his strength was not weaker than anyone. Yao Qingjun and the rest were also fighting with all their might. The Monster Plant's royal court martial artists had witnessed a series of unforeseen events with their own eyes. First, the three quasi-commanders were killed. Then, Prince Huai was killed. Prince Feng had fled. At this moment, they had long lost the will to fight. Some of them had already fled in all directions before Fang Ping had arrived. Fang Ping could not stop them now. Killing one was one. Those who did not have divine weapons ran away. Those who had divine weapons, Fang Ping kept a close eye on them. Looking at these people running away, Fang Ping roared, "Leave the divine weapons behind. Otherwise, I'll hunt you down to the end. I won't stop until you die." As soon as he said that, there were indeed 2 martial artists who had already run far away. They threw down the divine weapons in their hands and fled at high speed. Fang Ping pursed his lips. "I'm just scaring you guys. I don't have the time to hunt you down all over the world." After fighting with all their might for a while, as some people fled, the remaining people self-destructed in despair. Some were killed on the spot. As for Fang Ping and the rest, their faces were drained of color. They collapsed to the ground. Everyone was covered in blood, their injuries severe. Fang Ping panted heavily, grinning. "That Feng Miexing is really a good guy. If he doesn't run, I'm afraid we'll be in big trouble." That fellow was also frightened by Fang Ping and fled immediately. Otherwise, Fang Ping, who could not use his mentality temporarily, Jiang Chao, who had lost his combat strength, Yao Qingjun, whose mentality was depleted, with this group of defeated soldiers, Feng Miexing might be able to single-handedly wipe them out. The few of them looked at each other, then burst into maniacal laughter. Sure enough, when encountering an enemy, one had to compete in terms of ruthlessness. If one looked more ruthless than the other party would naturally be afraid. After laughing for a while, Fang Ping said immediately, "Clean up the battlefield and loot. Retreat immediately. The people from the Monster Life Royal Court are not far from here. Hurry!" The few of them were also veterans. They dared not delay and quickly began to clean up the battlefield. Fang Ping did not care about anything. He kept all the corpses into his storage space. It would not be too late to deal with them later. Beside him, Jiang Chao's face was blank. On one hand, he was shocked by the speed at which these fellows collected the corpses. On the other hand, he was shocked by the size of Fang Ping's storage ring. Don't be ridiculous. How could a storage ring researched by the government be this big? They had collected dozens of corpses. It was enough to fill up a whole house. As for Fang Ping and the rest, they quickly packed up everything. They grabbed Jiang Chao, who was still in a daze, concealed their auras and fled quickly. Now that everyone was heavily injured and had no combat strength left, there was no way they could argue if they were taken advantage of. As they fled, Fang Ping laughed maniacally. He only smiled, but he did not make a sound. Too happy. Too excited. He was rich. The place where the king battled was practically his blessed land. He had made up his mind. This time, he would not leave. He would not leave until he had stayed for a full month. If he left such a treasured place just like that, he would be really stupid. Not only was Fang Ping laughing maniacally, the rest of them were also grinning widely. Old Wang and Old Yao, the 2 fellows who had always been calm, were also wild with joy at this moment. Chapter 576. Not long after Fang Ping and the rest left, a group of people flew toward them using flight step. The woman riding the tiger surveyed the area where everyone fought. Her gray pupils contracted slightly. Very quickly she said coldly, "Search. See if there's anyone alive." The crowd dispersed quickly. The woman landed on the ground with a few powerhouses to observe the results. After a while, the woman's expression changed. "Huai Muqing is dead." "What?" someone exclaimed in shock. "Huai Muqing is dead. What about Feng Miexing? He shouldn't be dead. There are no signs of his outburst here." The woman looked around and murmured, "There aren't too many opponents. 4 to 5 people. It should be 5. One of them activated the protective secret art left behind by the true king. He should be the true king's descendant from the land of rebirth. One of them uses his fists and has the strength of a peak warrior to a quasi-commander. His defense is extremely strong. One of them uses a saber and has a strong explosive force. He also has the strength of a quasi-commander. There's another one. I think he's a commander level. No, a pure immortal god. The woman shook her head. She could not tell for a moment. A luxuriously dressed young man beside her asked softly, "What about the other one?" "There's another one." The woman raised her eyebrows, her gaze solemn. "A powerhouse who might have wiped out the entire kingdom's martial artists. Huai Muqing must have activated the true king's secret art, but he's still dead. This person left almost no traces. The only thing left is a saber mark." As she spoke, the woman waved her hand. A boulder fell in front of her. The boulder had been completely cut in half. The woman touched it and said softly, "It's not a commander level. It's more like a quasi-commander's divine power outburst. A same-rank martial artist killed Huai Muqing. I don't know if Feng Niexing is still alive." At this point, the woman's expression turned solemn. She shouted, "Be careful. A powerful enemy has appeared in the land of rebirth. A powerful enemy more dangerous than a rank 7. Even a rank 7 martial artist could not easily wipe out a kingdom's team. The probability of being killed was even higher. Dozens of quasi-commanders and dozens of peak warriors. A team like this was enough to kill a few early-stage commander-level powerhouses. Even a middle-stage commander-level powerhouse might not be able to wipe out this team. If he really wanted to do it, he would have to at least command a high-level expert, or even a peak expert. And now, this team of only 5 people had defeated the monster plant's royal court. Even if they didn't see the corpses, from the remaining bloodstains, marks, and traces of escape, the monster plant's royal court's team might have really been destroyed. As soon as the woman's voice fell, everyone immediately became vigilant. A moment later, the scouting team returned. Someone quickly reported, "Your Highness, Feng Niexing is still alive. I saw him. He's gathering the remaining soldiers. The plant monster clan seems to have less than 10 people left." The woman's expression changed slightly. There were only so few people left? When she thought up to this point, the woman suddenly said, "Let's go and kill them. This time, there's a great enemy in the king battleground." "Yes," everyone responded. The woman looked around and glanced in the direction where Fang Ping and the rest had left, but she did not say anything. She patted the tiger, and it soared into the sky, roaring as it chased after Feng Niexing and the rest. She decided to kill Feng Niexing and the others first. As for the team of 5, the woman's expression was rather grim. They had only entered for a day and the monster plant clan had already been wiped out. It was better to be more careful. After killing Feng Niexing and the rest, they could not advance anymore. They had to wait for the few quasi-commanders to break through before they could continue. This time, the king battleground was very dangerous. The land of rebirth. The woman rode the tiger forward, murmuring in her heart. Father Wang and the rest wanted to join forces with the monster plant clan and kill their way into the land of rebirth together. Would it really work? The land of rebirth was not completely defenseless. True king powerhouses like the Netherworld King, Martial King, and Battle King were well known even to her. A top-notch true king like the suppressing Heavenly King was rumored to be comparable to the legendary Two Kings. If the Two Kings did not appear, would it really work? The woman sighed softly. It was a pity that her ability was too weak to influence the palace's decision. At the same time, Feng Niexing was like a wounded lone wolf, his eyes bloodshot. He looked around, seemingly crying and laughing at the same time. They had suffered a crushing defeat. He did not expect that after entering for only a day, most of the palace powerhouses were already dead. 128 people had entered the king battleground. At this moment, including himself, there were only 8 people beside him. When they came, they were full of lofty sentiments. At this moment, they were like stray dogs. After gathering these defeated soldiers, apart from him, there was no one else who could achieve mentality-vitality fusion. Feng Niexing watched for a while. He did not know if anyone else had escaped. But now, there were only so many people he could gather. "Let's go. Let's meet up with Bai Qing and the rest." Feng Niexing's eyes were bloodshot. There was still a chance. The three-peak quasi-commanders were not dead yet. They were still in the process of breaking through. When they had broken through, there was still a chance. Behind him, an armored peak rank 6 martial artist's face was as white as a sheet. He trembled and said, "Prince Feng, are we still going to stay here?" B** starred. Useless! Feng Yeshing scolded for a while. After a while, he suddenly felt dejected. Then, he regained his cold expression and said, "You, go back through the entrance now. Go back and tell Uncle Wang everything that has happened here. Ask Uncle Wang to send people into the unified territory and inform Brother Wang. Ask them to break through the wall and come here. This time, I am not satisfied." "Are you satisfied?" "If I don't kill the Battle King's descendants, I won't be at peace." Jiang Hao's younger brother's crime is unforgivable. All the descendants of Warlord deserve to die. No matter the price, they must be killed. Also, Feng Lan, bring a few people and look for the other people from the royal court who are still here. Inform the affiliated dynasties and sects to come here and listen to my orders. Feng Yeshing gave orders one after another. This time, he was not satisfied. Jiang Chao, he must kill him. Although many of the newcomers had died, there were still some people from the royal court from 3 years ago, or even earlier, who were still here in the battlefield. Some people from affiliated dynasties and sects were here too. If the people from the royal court of the unified territory could find the weak point of the border wall and break through it, Jiang Chao would definitely die. Definitely. If it was someone else, the people from the unified territory might not come. However, it was Jiang Hao's younger brother now. In that case, those people would definitely come. As long as he killed Warlord's descendant, even if such a huge incident had happened this time, he could still redeem himself with merit. If he killed Warlord's descendant, perhaps his merit would be even greater. Netherworld King Warlord. These 2 top-notch descendants of the true kings from the land of rebirth have been killed. I will only be rewarded. As Feng Yeshing thought about it, he thought about the person who had unleashed the true king's protective secret technique earlier. Who was that? To have such a true king's protective secret technique, he must be a descendant that the true king valued. I didn't expect that so many important people would enter the land of rebirth this time. Feng Yeshing thought about this as he led his people forward at high speed. There were many descendants of the true king. Some of them had been passed down for more than 10 generations. Why would they care about those descendants whose bloodlines were extremely distant? However, that fatty had unleashed the true king's protective secret technique. He was definitely one of the people that the true king valued. In addition to Jiang Chao and the Netherworld King's grandson, if he killed these 3 people, it would not be considered a failure to enter the land of rebirth this time. Fan Ping did not know what the Monster Life Royal Court woman and Feng Yeshing were planning. He did not care either. At this moment, Fan Ping and the others had already hidden in a cave. After sealing the cave with a boulder, Fan Ping managed to set up a thin layer of mentality barrier. Then, he collapsed on the ground. The others did the same. A few of them lay on the cold and damp stone ground. In the next moment, they all burst out laughing. Awesome! I'm rich! Fan Ping laughed. Even now, his head was still splitting. Fan Ping could not help but feel excited and agitated. The others were the same. Jiang Chao had already started consuming the life essence. This fatty had brought quite a lot with him this time. As he drank, he hesitated whether he should give some to the others. However, after taking a look and seeing that the others did not seem to be too badly injured, Jiang Chao gave up the idea. It was better to save some for himself. After drinking the life essence, Jiang Chao immediately shifted his gaze to Fan Ping. He praised loudly. Fan Ping, you're amazing! Too amazing! This time, you've made a name for yourselves in the restricted area. A few of you have annihilated a team of more than 100 people from the Monster Plant's royal court. This is practically comparable to the contribution of exterminating a cave. When you return to Earth, even the top will celebrate for you. The fatty was flattering him non-stop. In the end, he even said smugly, "Of course, I've also contributed a little, but I won't take credit for it. It's mainly because the few of you leaders are good. This time, I've annihilated 3 people who have achieved mentality-vitality fusion. In this generation of Constellation City, there are not many who have contributed more than me. Fan Ping, you guys have to be my witness." Fan Ping ignored him and began to pour things out. Divine weapons, one after another, one after another. Even the rich and overbearing Jiang Chao could not speak at this time. With a gulp, he swallowed his saliva. Constellation City had divine weapons, and there were quite a few of them. Adding the 13 families together, there were probably close to 100 divine weapons. Of course, most of them were rank 7s. There were not many rank 8s. The old ancestors could kill some rank 7s. As long as it was not too eye-catching, not many people would care. But they could kill rank 8s. Rank 8 golden bodies, that was the realm of gods and Buddhas. The death of such a powerhouse could possibly cause a huge uproar. Rank 7s were commander-level powerhouses. Commander-level powerhouses were also only the commander level of an area. Rank 8s were venerables. The so-called venerables also carried some meaning that everyone had to respect, including in the restricted areas. Rank 9s were known as kings in the outlands. In order to avoid being a true king, the restricted areas called them the divine general realm, with the word God in it. Even if they were only generals of the gods, they were still incomparably honorable. Therefore, among the close to 100 divine weapons in Constellation City, there were only a few rank 8s and 9s. There were only 60 to 70 rank 7s, and this was the accumulation of the 13 families. As for Fan Ping, how many had he taken out now? Jiang Chao glanced at them. There were probably no less than 50 of them. At this moment, Fan Ping stopped what he was doing. The joy on his face diminished slightly, and he said with some dissatisfaction, "I remember that they had more than 70 over there. Some people ran away. Logically speaking, there should be around 60 of them. Why are there only 56 of them, 56? Jiang Chao really swallowed hard. Mother asterisk Kerr, this was a wave of wealth. These people were really terrifying. Yet they were still not satisfied with this. Fan Ping had exposed so much of his wealth. Even the paragons would probably want to rob him. Was he not afraid of being hacked to death? No, this guy wouldn't kill him to silence him, would he? Out of everyone present, he seemed like an outsider. Thinking of this, Jiang Chao shuddered. Fan Ping glanced at him out of the corner of his eye. He smiled and said, "Fatty, what's wrong? Are you feeling cold because your injuries are too severe?" "No, no." Fan Ping laughed and said, "I, Fan Ping, will not attack unless I am attacked. Of course, I also repay favors and share blessings. This time, you killed 3 mentality-vitality fusion and used your ultimate move. I won't let you suffer any losses. Last time, I took a pair of combat boots from you. Now I'll give you another pair. How's that?" Jiang Chao laughed dryly. "That? No need. Really, don't. Won't that make me, Fan Ping, seem too stingy? Am I, Fan Ping, that kind of person? No, no." As Jiang Chao spoke, Fan Ping had already tossed a pair of boots that he had just pulled off. He smiled and said, "This is for you. The quality isn't bad." Jiang Chao received it gingerly, calculating in his heart. Was this considered hush money? Fan Ping did not say much. He continued, "Other than the divine weapons, there are also quite a number of accessories that can block mentality. In total, there are 6 pieces. I think foam extermination took a few of them." At this point, Fan Ping's expression did not look too good. There were fewer divine weapons and fewer accessories that could block mentality. The reason was that foam extermination had taken away some of the people he had killed earlier. Other than the halberd, there seemed to be a few other divine weapons on him. There were probably some accessories that could block mentality too. Fan Ping did not say much. He said quickly, 55 divine weapons. 1 rank 8. It was left behind by that Huai Muqing. 3 peak rank 7, 5 upper stage rank 7, 8 middle stage, and 38 early stage. In terms of money, it's about 640 billion to 650 billion. There are 6 accessories that can block mentality, about 15 caddies. That's 100 billion. Other than these, there are some miscellaneous items. Some energy stones, energy fruits, monster armor. It's still worth 100 billion. Also, some people have some life essence on them, but it's not much. They've used more than half of it, only a few caddies left. In total, the harvest this time is 900 billion. Does anyone have any objections? Li Hansung's mouth was almost crooked from smiling. How could he have any objections? He said immediately. No! Yao Qingjuan's expression changed again and again. This was his first time entering the catacombs with Fang Ping. However, this was the first time he felt that he had really learned something new. Earning money. Was this how it was earned? Over at the martial arts universities, everyone was saying that MCMAU's Fang Ping was rich and overbearing. His net worth was comparable to a rank 9. No, even a rank 9 was not as rich as him. They did not have much of a concept before. Now they did. Could a rank 9 be as rich as Fang Ping? This was not an issue of money. Did the government not have money if it was less than 1 trillion? The wealth that the government possessed was countless times more than 1 trillion. The key issue was that although martial artists' cultivation resources could be replaced with money, it did not mean that 1 trillion could buy them. If they used 1 trillion to buy 55 divine weapons, the government would probably fork out the money immediately. When there was a lot of money, it was just numbers and paper. If martial arts resources were really exchanged with money, then the economy would have collapsed long ago. The martial arts universities used credits to exchange, the military department used military merits to exchange, and the other departments also had their own conversion methods. It almost did not involve real money. All in all, Fang Ping said that it was worth 900 billion. If they really wanted to use money, they might not be able to buy it even if they had 10 times the money. At this moment, the few of them were already lost in their fantasies. Fang Ping was still calm. He said, "According to the previous distribution, I can get 450 billion worth of things." As he said that, Fang Ping coughed dryly. He looked at Jiang Chao again and said, "Many of the things here were obtained by us before, not this time. So, on your side." Jiang Chao was extremely tactful. He immediately said, "Understood. Don't worry, I know. If you can get a divine weapon by killing 3 mentality-vitality fusion, you can make those rank 7 and 8 martial artists sell their lives for it once." Jiang Chao's face was full of agreement. "Giving me a divine weapon is enough. You don't have to give any more. If I give more, I'm afraid that you wolves will kill me." These fellows were all people who valued money more than their lives. Giving them a divine weapon was already good enough. Fang Ping grinned and said, "Fatty, we're too poor. We won't stand on ceremony with you then. How about this? Life essence, energy stones, and other miscellaneous items will all belong to me. I also want 3 accessories that can block mentality. Let's make it 200 billion. As for divine weapons, I want a rank 8 longsword. I'll pick 20 more rank 7 beginner stage, middle stage, and upper stage ones. The rest will belong to you guys. How about that?" Li Hansong said hurriedly. "No problem. Can I get 135 billion? As he said that, Li Hansong grinned. "I want a mentality block accessory and 10 rank 7 divine weapons. That should be enough, right?" Beside him, Wang Jinyang also said, "Me too." Yao Qingjun didn't say anything. The rest belonged to him. He could still take 14 divine weapons and an accessory that could seal one's spirit. Such a harvest. Yao Qingjun was a little dazed for a moment. Was he dreaming? Fang Ping did not care about them. He was stingy to some people, but generous to others. He was not stingy to those who were willing to risk their lives with him and stood up to him during critical moments. For Old Wang and the rest, even if Fan Ping gave them 3 to 5 divine weapons, they probably would not say anything. However, Old Wang and Ironhead had risked their lives with him more than once or twice. As for Yao Qingjun, although it was his first time entering the catacombs with Fan Ping, he was not careless when it was time to attack. Even a fool knew how dangerous it was to ambush the other party at the entrance. Yao Qingjun was not too clear about Fan Ping's tactics, but he still stayed without hesitation. He did not even consider it. As for the others, they all ran away quickly. Even Jiang Chao. Although he stayed, he left in the end because he was not sure that Fan Ping and the rest could do it. Staying meant that they were willing to live and die together. That meant they were brothers. It was enough for Fan Ping to take the majority. He would not deliberately deduct from these people. If this happened too many times, everyone would be disappointed, even if Fan Ping gave them a lot. After Fan Ping was done with the distribution, he started waiting. This time, he was divided into 450 billion, of which 130 billion had been settled previously. Logically speaking, he could still add more than 300 billion wealth. After the distribution was completed, if the system judged that there was no danger, he should be able to increase his wealth. This was also a hidden function. Fan Ping had now discovered that the system judged whether he was out of danger based on the surrounding environment and the threat level. System. Could it be that it can monitor the surrounding environment? A strange thought arose in Fan Ping's mind. Maybe. Previously in the Tian'an catacombs, because they were always at the edge of the Forbidden Sea, they did not increase his wealth. After that, even when he went to the area where the Grand Masters were in Sino Nation, he did not increase his wealth. Because there was still a large group of rank 9s opposite him. This kind of danger was actually unknown. It was not right in front of him. However, the system still judged that he was in danger. A thought arose in Fan Ping's mind, but he did not think too deeply about it. Sometimes, it was useless to think about it. The hymn now was still too weak. There was no need to think about these useless things. This time, the danger was determined very quickly. There should not be any creatures or environment that could threaten Fan Ping's life in the surrounding. His wealth changed rapidly. Wealth, 950 billion, conversion, vitality, 8,620 calories, 9,633 calories, mentality, 120 Hz, 1,469 Hz, bone honing, 177 bones, 100%, 29 bones, 90%, storage space, 100 cubic meters, plus, energy shield. 10,000 wealth/minute, plus, aura simulation, 100,000 wealth/minute, plus, previously, in order to conceal the others' auras and recover mentality and vitality, Fan Ping had expended a lot of wealth. After some calculations, the increase in wealth was about 310 billion. It should not have reached 320 billion. Fan Ping did not care too much. It was normal for there to be a little difference. Just a little more and I can reach 1 trillion. Fan Ping felt a little emotional. Previously, he thought that 1 trillion was far away, but now he was only a step away. As for the so-called a little more than 50 billion, Fan Ping felt that it was nothing. In a treasure land like the King battlefield, it was just a drizzle. 50 billion. After killing phone extermination, it would reach 1 trillion without doing anything. His rank 8 divine weapon long halberd alone could probably make Fan Ping's wealth break through to 1 trillion. Not to mention that the fellow still had a lot of good stuff on him. After killing phone extermination, Fan Ping felt that it would not be difficult to increase his wealth by more than 100 billion. My mentality has been severely damaged. It's actually so difficult to recover this time. Fan Ping frowned slightly. In the past, he thought that as long as his mentality was not destroyed, even if there was a trace left, he could recover quickly. Looking at it now, there was still some difference. This time, his foundation was probably damaged. Theoretically, a mentality of more than 1,000 Hz should be recovered with 1 million wealth. But now, Fan Ping's wealth was being consumed in large amounts to repair his mentality. However, the speed at which his mentality was increasing was not as fast as expected. Previously, it was 1,000 wealth to recover 1 hertz. Now, it had increased by at least 100 times. 100,000 was needed to recover about 1 hertz. But fortunately, it's still recovering. It's only a little more than 100 million consumed. It's considered not bad to be able to recover my damaged mentality. If it were another rank 7 or 8 martial artist, they would probably have collapsed at this point. On Nanjiang's side, Jiang Dingnan's mentality had been damaged previously. He had spent a long time to repair and nurture it. Until now, he might not have fully recovered. Actually, Fan Ping's injuries were more serious than his. But looking at the situation, he should be able to recover completely in an hour or so. While Fan Ping was healing, he said with a smile, "In for a penny, in for a pound. We and the people from the monster plant's royal court will not rest until one of us is dead. This time, no matter what, we must kill them. They don't have many people left now, 10 at most. When we recover, we'll continue hunting." Beside him, Jiang Chao looked helpless. They still had to go after them? Damn it, following these guys is really exciting. When he was still thinking about this, a few sets of armor appeared in front of Fan Ping. Fan Ping put on a set. Old Wang and Ironhead also picked up a set and put it on naturally. Then, he saw that Fan Ping had even distributed the wig and headgear. Jiang Chao was dumbfounded, muttering, "What are you doing?" Li Hansong chuckled. "There aren't many people from the monster plant's royal court now. We'll see if we can impersonate them. If we meet other people on the way, we'll kill them along the way." Fan Ping did not say much. He did not plan to change Fatty's aura either. Changing the aura of all 5 people would consume too much. 1 billion per minute. He could not afford it. However, changing 2 people's auras and shielding 2 people's auras would not consume too much. He would see if there was a chance to use the identity of a monster plant's royal court martial artist to kill some people easily. Fan Ping was tired of always killing. "Everyone heal. When your injuries are healed, we'll go sweep again." Everyone did not delay. Fan Ping was not stingy either. He took out a lot of life essence and energy stones for everyone to heal. This time, not only did he want to rush to trillions of wealth, he wanted more. If he missed this opportunity, there would not be much hope if he wanted to get so much in the future. The king's battleground. Would he have the chance to come next time? Chapter 577. Outside the king's battleground. At the entrance, the golden-armored man laughed loudly. "One day has passed. How many resurrected martial artists are still alive?" From last night until now, a whole day had passed, no matter how dark the sky was. Commander Zhou and the rest were silent, expressionless. The golden-armored man sneered, provoking, "This time, kill them all! The previous batches were unwilling to waste their energy killing that bunch of trash. The descendant of a king dares to provoke us. If you want to blame someone, blame that reckless thing." 3 years ago, Jiang Hao entered the king's battleground. It was fine at rank 6, he did not kill many people. When he reached rank 7, Jiang Hao began to hunt those catacombs martial artists. If it was just hunting, everyone was an enemy. There was nothing to say. However, Jiang Hao killed a king descendant at the entrance right in front of them. This was a provocation to the entire restricted zone. For more than a year, many restricted zone martial artists had entered the rank 7 area to hunt Jiang Hao, but he had escaped time and time again. Jiang Hao and the others were all old foxes. It was difficult to find them, and it was not easy to kill them. However, it was much easier for this batch of newbies. Their whereabouts were right in front of them. There was only half an hour's difference when both parties left. It was their first time entering, and the monster plant's king's court had more people than the other party. If they still could not kill them, they would be looking down on Foam Extermination and the rest. As soon as the golden-armored man finished speaking, The few rank 9s on the human side did not speak, but someone glanced at Commander Zhou from the corner of his eyes. "He's provoking us!" Commander Zhou shielded his surroundings and said. "Although he's provoking us, Jiang Hao has indeed caused trouble for us. We're enemies. There's nothing wrong with killing the enemy, but there's no need to kill the apex descendant at the entrance. We're already weak. Jiang Hao is unwise." Commander Zhou was speechless. Indeed, Jiang Hao was a little too arrogant. He could kill the enemy, but he could do it inside the king's battleground. Why did he have to do it here? Of course, the situation that day was a little special. The king descendant was about to escape from the king's battleground. Jiang Hao chased him all the way here and intercepted him at the entrance passage. That was why he tortured him to death in front of everyone. No matter what, even if he gave up on killing his opponent, there was no need to kill him in front of the catacombs' powerhouses. Unfortunately, Commander Zhou sighed inwardly. The heavenly talents of Star City were arrogant and unruly, so it was hard to say anything about them. In fact, someone had talked to Jiang Hao about it after the incident, but the other party did not take it seriously. After all, they had killed an enemy, and it was also within the rules. After all, the Battle King was one of the pillars of the Apex powerhouses. He couldn't possibly do anything to Jiang Hao just because he had killed an enemy. That would definitely displease suppressing Star City. Jiang Hao also boasted that he would take responsibility for this matter alone. In the rank 7 area, he often appeared to kill opponents. The martial artists in the rank 7 area were also attracted to Jiang Hao. However, there were still repercussions. Now, Jiang Hao was not dead, and new people entered every 3 years. The Fey-planned royal court vented their anger on them, and in order to save face, they threatened to exterminate all murderous martial artists before they even entered. Half of the reason for this was because they were enemies, and the other half was related to Jiang Hao. Without another word, Commander Zhou looked at the entrance and sighed in his heart. This session was even more difficult and dangerous than the previous sessions. 12 people from Hua Nation went in, and they didn't know what the situation was like now. Just then, a light flashed at the entrance. Beside him, the monk said solemnly, "Someone is coming out." "Someone from the previous sessions?" Everyone stared for a while. Someone from the previous sessions must be a catacombs martial artist. There were no old humans in there now. It would be best if it was someone from the previous sessions. If it was someone from this session, it might mean trouble. Soon, with a flash of energy, a figure appeared in the dark passageway. The moment he saw the figure, the golden-armored man suddenly laughed. "Ha ha ha, Miyuki, you're out so soon. Did extermination let you come back?" It was someone from the Fey Plant Royal Court. Moreover, he came out in just 1 day. It was too fast. It must be good news. If there was nothing major, Foam Extermination would not let anyone out. Foam Extermination was extremely arrogant. If he did not kill all the resurrected martial artists, or kill half of them, or kill 1 or 2, he would never come out to report the good news. When Miyuki came out, many powerhouses in the catacombs laughed out loud. It had only been 1 day, and the resurrected martial artists were done for. Commander Zhou and the others' eyes were cold. Something had happened. Although they knew that the Fey Plant Royal Court was going to attack them this time, they did not expect that the outcome would be decided in just 1 day. Miyuki, who had just walked out of the passageway, saw the golden-armored man laughing. His expression was frighteningly stiff. Sir Divine General had misunderstood. He knew that Sir Divine General must have misunderstood. No one would believe that he had come out to report his condolences. For a moment, Miyuki lowered his head, trembling with fear. He was afraid. He was afraid that he would be killed if he disturbed the Divine General's mood. He had originally thought of coming out and finding a chance to report to the golden-armored man alone. However, Sir Divine General had been staring at the entrance. The moment he came out, the other party came. Just as Miyuki was worrying, the golden-armored man laughed and said, "Miyuki, tell me quickly. How many resurrected martial artists did extermination kill? Sir, hurry up! The golden-armored man roared, his face full of dissatisfaction. Are you trying to spoil my fun? I want to tell the land of rebirth powerhouses how many of them I've killed in front of them. That day, the King of War's descendant had provoked them. Everyone was already very dissatisfied. Before they departed, the golden-armored man had even told Foam Extermination to bring someone alive and kill them in the passageway in front of the land of rebirth powerhouses. Although it was not the right time yet, to be able to tell them how many people he had killed in front of these people would allow them to vent their frustrations. Miyuki was trembling violently. He dared not say it. He dared not lie either. If he lied, he would definitely die. However, even if he did not lie, he might still be killed by the enraged golden-armored man if he reported this information. Miyuki was trembling. Gradually, the golden-armored man who was laughing earlier also noticed that something was wrong. His expression instantly turned cold. At this moment, he did not think of anything else. Instead, he looked at a powerhouse beside him. His eyes were cold, and he looked at Miyuki again. He said coldly, "That which attacked extermination?" This was probably the only thing that made Miyuki afraid to speak. As soon as he said this, a rank 9 powerhouse standing beside him sneered. "Feng Jiuqing, don't forget the current situation." Now, the Monster Plant clan was asking for their help. Feng Jiuqing opened his mouth to call her a witch. This was an insult to the descendant of a true king, and the most direct descendant at that. The golden-armored man's expression changed again and again. He snorted coldly, his expression ugly. Seeing that they were arguing, Miyuki became even more worried. He immediately said, trembling, "Sir, this has nothing to do with Her Highness Ji Yao, bastard!" The golden-armored man was enraged. "Since it has nothing to do with you, why are you stuttering and causing me to be bullied? Do you have a death wish?" At this moment, Feng Jiuqing was a little angry. Since it had nothing to do with the Monster Life clan, then nothing mattered. Even if it was a war with the other royal courts, it was not a big deal. The Guardian Court and the other 2 royal courts were on good terms, so the possibility of war was not high. Both sides had also cooperated many times in the outer realm. Not many demons had entered the 10,000 demon royal court. Moreover, the 10,000 demon royal court was in chaos. It was not a big deal to kill demons from the 10,000 demon royal court. Seeing that Miyuki was trembling all over and extremely uneasy, the golden-armored man, who was still angry just now, frowned and waved his hand to set up a mental barrier. He shouted, "Tell me, what's going on?" Miyuki was in no hurry to speak. He was really afraid. He was afraid that he would not die in the king's battlefield but here. Miyuki looked around from the corner of his eyes. When he saw a person behind the golden-armored man, his eyes flashed with joy. He hurriedly took a step forward and walked in front of that person. With this action, the golden-armored man's expression changed completely. The green-armored man behind him also had a slight change in expression. He said in a low voice, "Miyuki, don't be afraid. What's going on?" Martial artists who could enter the king's battlefield were all Monster Plant Royal Court's geniuses. He was an elder of Miyuki's bloodline. Although he only had rank 8 strength, he could still protect him a little. Only then did Miyuki's expression turn sorrowful. He hurriedly said, "Sir, something has happened in the king's battlefield. We were ambushed by martial artists who had revived as soon as we entered." "What?" the golden-armored man exclaimed. "How was that possible? A rank 9 martial artist should not be this impatient." Even when Jiang Hao had tortured and killed the descendant of a true king in the passageway, he had not been this moved. However, at this moment, he was truly shocked. Martial artists who had revived, ambushed them? Miyuki's undying god had been destroyed. Was he delirious now? Although his voice did not spread, the change in his expression attracted the attention of many people. Feng Jiuqing was so shocked. What had happened? Following that, everyone saw not only the change in his expression, but also Feng Jiuqing's extremely suppressed expression. He was so angry that he had lost his composure. The monster plant royal court's geniuses were all dead or injured. Their opponents were just a few martial artists from the land of rebirth. At the last moment, the golden-armored man's entire body erupted with force, shattering the barrier. He said furiously, "Jiang Chao! Damn it!" The golden-armored man was furious. His eyes exploded with a brilliant golden glow as he glared at Commander Zhou and the rest. No one heard the first part of his words. However, everyone heard the last part. "Jiang Chao!" Some people looked surprised. They understood the human language and knew what the surname Jiang meant. A descendant of the War King? Another descendant of the War King had angered Feng Jiuqing? For a rank 9 martial artist to say, "Damn it," it was clear that Feng Jiuqing's anger had reached a certain level. At this moment, Feng Jiuqing's murderous aura was soaring. He glared fiercely at Commander Zhou and the rest, then at Muki. Without saying a word, he turned around and flew into the palace. His series of actions were surprising, but they also caused people's imaginations to run wild. What the hell happened? Many people looked at Muki. Now, this prodigy who had just escaped from the jaws of death was drenched in sweat again. This was going to be troublesome. The catacombs martial artists were at a loss. Commander Zhou was even more at a loss. What had Jiang Chao done? That upper stage rank 6 kid's strength was only average. Moreover, he had heard that he was timid and afraid of trouble. He had only come to the king's battleground because he had no other choice. How had he angered the catacombs? Feng Jiuqing's tone and expression earlier, as if he wanted to eat him alive, were even more hateful and angry than when he mentioned Jiang Hao. What had happened? Commander Zhou was at a loss, but he was also a little worried. Could the two Jiang brothers stop? At this moment, a few rank 7 martial artists suddenly flew out from the palace and quickly entered the passageway. These people had just come out not long ago and had been recuperating and recovering. Now, however, these people had entered the rank 7 area. Commander Zhou frowned. The people from the monster plant's royal court had returned, and Feng Jiuqing was furious. Why were the rank 7 martial artists from the monster plant's royal court entering the rank 7 area one after another? Not only the rank 7, but Commander Zhou soon realized that some rank 6 martial artists were also heading toward the passageway. These people were all seething with murderous intent. Behind him, Feng Jiuqing once again stepped on the air and shouted, "Muki, you go in with them!" "Sir!" Muki shuddered. He was afraid of death. If he was not afraid of death, he would not have come out. It was because he was afraid of death that he was willing to come out and report the news. Now, he was asked to go in and face those murderous gods. "How dare you disobey?" Feng Jiuqing's face was livid. Muki looked terrified. Without another word, he hurried into the passageway. As these people entered, Feng Jiuqing stood in the air like a statue. He was no longer as arrogant and despotic as before. There was only cold murderous intent in his eyes. More than 100 prodigies had died in battle. As the guardian of the royal court, he was in big trouble. If he could not kill the descendants of War King, it would be even more troublesome. So many people involved countless forces, and there were more than 1 or 2 true kings who were related. This time, there were more than 30 martial artists related to the true kings. Now, almost all of them had died in the battlefield of the royal court. "Jiang Chao, you deserve to die!" Feng Jiuqing, who was like a statue, suddenly shouted coldly, his murderous intent awe-inspiring. Over at the boulder platform, Commander Zhou's head was splitting. What did Jiang Chao do? Now that he had provoked Feng Jiuqing to the brink of madness, he felt like he was about to lose his mind. This was not a good thing. Moreover, there were people entering the rank 7 area and the rank 6 area. They were probably going to surround and kill Jiang Chao. "I have to inform the minister. The old War King should also do something." Commander Zhou was very helpless. With Feng Jiuqing's current state, He was worried that something big would happen in the end. There were only 6 human rank 9s present. Moreover, the Jiang brothers were troublemakers. If Jiang Chao and the others really came out, these people might not stand up for them. If Jiang Chao was killed outside of the king's battlefield, the war king would be enraged and start a battle of the apex. Commander Zhou shuddered. That would pierce through the heavens. The ultimate battle should be avoided as much as possible. When the ultimate battle started, an all-out war would come in an instant. The humans were still stalling for time. They could not afford such an unforeseen event. Thinking of this, Commander Zhou glanced at the others and said in a low voice, "I want to go to Mount Imperial Sea." The others thought of many things and nodded. Someone could not help but ask, "Can you guys let War King take the Jiang brothers away?" They had had enough. They did not know what the second Jiang brother was doing inside. This guy seemed to be more troublemaker than his brother. Could it be that he had killed Feng Niesheng? At this thought, they looked at each other. It could not be, right? It was unbelievable that the kid from the Jiang family could kill Feng Niesheng. Or perhaps he had killed other important people? Achoo! In the cave, Jiang Chao looked confused. He rubbed his nose and asked curiously, "My body is weak. How can I sneeze? I was a rank 6 martial artist. How could I sneeze? Could it be that my body was weak because of my severe injuries?" Li Hansong said seriously, "You're being targeted. Powerhouses are talking about you. You can sense it. You're done for. It can't be. I just killed a few mentality-vitality fusion. They're all dead. They don't even know me." Beside him, Fang Ping had long forgotten that he lied about his name. He said casually, "Why think so much? Everyone's injuries are healed. Old Yao, your mentality recovery speed is still too slow. Look at me. I've recovered from such a severe injury." Yao Qingjun was speechless. I was speechless. Fang Ping's mentality was really close to being destroyed, but he was full of vigor now, as if nothing had happened. Until now, his mentality had not even recovered by half. Compared to him, it was too sad. Fang Ping did not continue to discourage him. He looked at them and said suddenly, "It's not good to pretend to be catacombs martial artists. There aren't that many middle-stage martial artists in the catacombs. Fatty you, old Wang, and I will pretend to be catacombs martial artists. Ironhead, you and old Jiao will pretend to be captives." Li Hansong looked gloomy. "I'll pretend to be a captive. Why don't I switch with old Wang? Stop talking nonsense. When you attack, you'll be too eye-catching. You won't be able to act well." Fang Ping could not be bothered with him. He gave a few reminders and then smiled. "Come, let's go out. Remember, when we encounter catacombs martial artists, first, look at the number of divine weapons they have. Second, look at the number of people. Third, look at their strength. If they have more than 3 mentality-vitality fusion and above, then don't rush to attack." After Fang Ping said that, he slapped Fatty. Jiang Chao dodged hurriedly, but Fang Ping's slap still landed on his head. Bang! A muffled sound was heard. Blood and flesh exploded. Jiang Chao was scared half to death. Had he known earlier, he would not have accepted that divine weapon. He had actually accepted a divine weapon. These fellows had killed countless people for divine weapons. While he was still thinking about how to escape in fear, Fang Ping also gave himself a punch. His face was almost flattened. This time, Jiang Chao was dumbfounded. Beside him, although Wang Jinyang's flesh did not rupture, a few bloody marks appeared on his face. Li Hansong was not surprised. He also gave himself a few punches. His whole body was covered in blood, and his aura was weakening. It was Yao Qingjuan's first time doing this, but he was not careless. He copied Fatty's actions. Fang Ping saw that Fatty looked like he was about to escape at any time. He said impatiently, "Cover up a little. Martial artists have a photographic memory. You should pretend to be a captive. But I'm just an upper-stage martial artist, so it'll be a little conspicuous if I capture you guys." Don't talk so much. Just watch. You can't bear to do it to yourself. I'll help you. You don't have any objections, right? Jiang Chao smiled bitterly. He rubbed his slightly torn cheeks and sucked in a breath of cold air. Mother Kerr, was there a need to be so cruel to himself? These guys were very familiar with their tricks. It looked like they had done this many times. Fan Ping did not care about him. He changed his own aura, as well as old Wang and Fatty's. The three of them escorted Li Hansong and Fatty out. Seeing that, Jiang Chao asked, "Where are we going now?" "We'll go back. I remember that the monster plant's king's court is missing a few mentality-vitality fusion. They should be looking for a place to break through. Phone extermination will definitely go there too. We'll chase after him. Oh right, when we kill people on the way, we don't have to kill them all. Leave a few weak ones. There might be a good show to watch. It'll be best if it's a mess. I love messy situations." Fang Ping laughed. The more chaotic, the better. The more chaotic it was, the more opportunities there would be. Having said that, Fang Ping looked at Jiang Chao and said fiercely, "Don't speak Mandarin anymore. Use the catacombs language. Speak it more proficiently. If you follow us, you must master this essential skill." Jiang Chao nodded hurriedly, his face bitter. "Goodbye. I'll follow you guys. Just this once. Next time, even if I die, I won't follow you guys anymore." These few lunatics would go wherever there were more people. They only cared about money and not their lives. He had enough of these guys. On the night of the 4th, there was an additional team of 5 people at the Imperial Battleground. 3 King's Court martial artists and 2 Resurrection martial artists. These 5 people walked ostentatiously along the way. They killed 2 small teams along the way. The 2 teams were not from big forces, but from dynasty and a sect. Fan Ping picked up 4 divine weapons and distributed them to 2 of them, increasing his wealth to 970 billion. However, at this moment, Fan Ping was depleting 10 million wealth points every minute. He was also depleting 600 million every hour. 600 million. In the past, Fan Ping would still be in a hurry. Now, Fan Ping was not in a hurry. When he encountered a team, he would kill a few rich ones and earn some extra money. 600 million was nothing. In a day, he would only spend the wealth brought by a middle-stage rank 7 divine weapon. At the same time, Fan Ping and the others were killing the catacombs martial artists in a swagger at the Imperial Battleground. Commander Zhou hurried. With caution, he finally arrived at Imperial Sea Mountain safely. In reality, both parties were still in the agreement period. Imperial Sea Mountain was 1,000 miles away, guarded by a martial artist. Feng Jiuqing did not think of killing him in the catacombs. Imperial Sea Mountain. At the highest point of the mountain peak. Commander Zhou did not dare to go up. There were space-time rifts there. At a distance from Zhang Tao, Commander Zhou reported hurriedly. Zhang Tao listened for a while. His gaze was slightly strange. "You mean Jiang Chao?" "Yes, it's him." "Jiang Chao." Zhang Tao laughed suddenly. "Jiang Chao. How could it be? But that little fatty, who did he say he was going to act with?" "Fan Ping." Having made up his mind, Zhang Tao smiled. "Got it. You go back first. I'll ask someone to inform Star Town, and ask them to inform Warlord. I'll ask Senior Warlord to go to the Imperial Battleground." Commander Zhou was surprised. He could not help but ask, "Minister, are they really going to break the agreement?" Although he came to inform them, he was worried that they would not follow the rules. However, asking Jiueping to go there personally was still a bit of a fuss. What he wanted was for Zhang Tao to pay more attention, or to prevent Warlord from starting a war on his own. Now, Zhang Tao took the initiative to ask Warlord to go there. Zhang Tao chuckled. "I'm afraid something big has happened. I just don't know how big it is. It's okay if some die, but please don't let all of them die. Otherwise, it'll be hard to negotiate." "Huh?" Commander Zhou was confused again. Who was the minister talking about? Human martial artists? But if all human martial artists died, could the minister still laugh? Zhang Tao waved his hand and said no more. After waiting for Commander Zhou to leave in a daze, Zhang Tao laughed again. This was interesting. The rank 9 who was guarding the Imperial battleground had even sent people to the rank 7 area. This meant that they were going to break through the barrier and enter the rank 6 area. What the hell did those brats do? Could it be that they really killed a lot? Zhang Tao was looking forward to it. He had made a bet with King Huai before, although he was not the one who agreed to the bet. 128 Monster Plants Court Martial Artists. If Fang Ping and the rest could really kill some of them, and some others died in other places, the Monster Plants Court might lose more than half of its members this time. When that time came, humans would have 14 survivors, and they would win. How many did they actually kill? Chapter 578. Bastard! How dare you stop the people from the royal court? Fang Ping killed an upper stage rank 6 martial artist with one slash. He looked at the remaining 2 upper stage rank 6 martial artists and said arrogantly, "Get lost!" Both of them were terrified. The next moment, they turned around and fled. The people from the Monster Plants Royal Court did not kill them. How arrogant was this? However, both of them did not dare to say a word. Their strength was not as good as theirs. They could only resign themselves to fate. Fang Ping, on the other hand, curled his lips. 2 poor bastards. They did not even have a divine weapon. Catacombs prodigies? Dynasty geniuses. Which genius did not have money? Just a divine weapon? These empires are too poor. Fang Ping looked unhappy. Jiang Chao was speechless. Divine weapons? Were they really treated like grass by you? Were they everywhere you plucked? Fang Ping calculated. It had not even been 2 days since he came in. How many divine weapons did he get? In addition to the previous ones, they had now obtained 62 divine weapons. Since when were divine weapons measured in dozens? Jiang Chao had no rights in this team. He did not speak. Wang Jinyang said calmly, "There is only one true king in the dynasties. These dynasties do not dare to hunt demons on their own. It's normal that they have few divine weapons." The people who came in were close to 400. The 2 catacombs human royal courts had close to 250 people. The other dynasties and sects had less than 150 people. The 2 royal courts had close to 150 divine weapons. The others had less than 50 divine weapons. Fang Ping had not killed many people. To be able to obtain 6 swords was already considered a lot. A total of 17 people were killed, Fang Ping said as he walked. Including the ones from before, there should be more than 130, right? There should be. Both of them chatted casually. Li Hansong and Yao Qingjun pretended to be captives and did not speak. Jiang Chao was speechless. 1/3 of the catacombs martial artists who came in this time were killed. Catastrophe. The catastrophe of the catacombs. One had to know that in previous years, even at the end, the casualties were not so heavy. 1/3 of them were killed on the first day. No, on the second day. If they stayed for a month, would there be anyone left alive? As they were talking, Fang Ping's expression changed slightly. He looked into the distance and said, "Someone has broken through." In the distance, more than 5 kilometers away, the Celestial Bridge and Sanjiao Gate appeared in the void. Then, an illusory tree appeared in the air. After watching for a while, Fang Ping frowned and said, "This is the first time I've seen it. These guys. The process of breaking through is similar to ours. Although the path of martial arts is different and leads to the same goal, the path of cultivation is very similar. The difference between catacombs martial artists and human martial artists was not that great. The most obvious characteristic was that both sides' main cultivation energy was different. One was the energy from the catacombs, the other was vitality." Fang Ping suddenly thought of a question. he asked in a low voice. If I was born in the catacombs, can I cultivate the path of energy? He had never paid much attention to this question. This was because no pregnant woman in the human world would give birth in the catacombs. At least, he was not aware of it. Jiang Chao shook his head when he heard that and said, "That won't do. I know that it won't work. Don't be fooled by our resemblance. In reality, we are not of the same species. Our structures are different, although I feel that we are similar. However, we have records that someone has experimented on it. It didn't work. The result was still vitality force." Fang Ping nodded. After that, he did not ask any more. He looked into the distance, thought for a while, and said, "Let's go. Let's change our path." Everyone was a little surprised. Fang Ping's purpose was to hunt down and kill Feng Yexing. Now that someone had broken through, it was most likely Feng Yexing and his group. Why did they change their path? Fang Ping said as he walked, "Don't look at me. Actually, he's not our target. We're targeting him because he's rich. But let's slow down first. Let's kill some more people. When we're stronger, it won't be too late to kill them then." Fang Ping was actually planning to accumulate 1 trillion wealth points first. He already had 980 billion now. After killing some more people, his wealth points would reach trillions. When the time came, the system would be upgraded. Regardless of whether there were new functions or not, once he reached trillions, he could use his wealth points freely. There was no need to save anymore. A storage space of 100 cubic meters was too small. Fang Ping felt that he needed to expand it. A few of them held their breath at the same time. The consumption was too high. They needed to stock up. If there were new functions, perhaps they could have more trump cards. Fang Ping felt that it was the same to level up first, and then go kill people. At most, it would just take 2 more days. What would 2 days do to Feng Yexing and his group? Could they achieve middle stage rank 7 in 2 days? After hearing Fang Ping's words, they did not say anything else. They changed the direction where someone had broken through earlier. Today, it was not just this place. Fang Ping and the rest encountered a few places where people had broken through. Some rank 6 martial artists had started to break through after entering for 2 days. Fang Ping only had contempt for these people. They could break through, but they had to suppress it and enter the rank 6 area. How afraid were they of death? If it were him, he would have broken through long ago. He heard that there were more good things in the rank 7 area. If they wanted to rob, they should go to the rank 7 area. As for the rank 6 area, there were not many good things. Fang Ping and the rest walked for a few hundred li. Other than the crazy monsters, they did not encounter anything valuable. The biggest value was the catacombs martial artists themselves. These people were the big fat sheep in Fang Ping's eyes. Fang Ping and the rest walked and killed. The crazy monsters were also killing. Some of the enemy forces in the restricted areas were also killing. Therefore, as they killed, everyone realized that the number of people had decreased. They did not encounter anyone for a long time. The king's battlefield was not small. The rank 6 area was also huge. It was comparable to the size of a few provinces. The terrain was still changing. At this moment, the people inside, including those old geniuses, were probably only 300 to 400. There were so many people, and many of them were in groups. It was even rarer to encounter them. However, everyone's direction was the same. They would eventually walk toward the inner area. The closer they were to the inner area, the more good things there were. Breakthroughs were often in the inner area. That night, Fang Ping and the rest ran for 100 li and encountered 2 more squads. In the end, they killed a lot of them and only got 2 divine weapons. Fang Ping was so angry that he almost vomited blood. Other than the divine weapons, there were some other gains. However, it was just enough to make up for their own consumption. As for Fang Ping, he changed his appearance again. He no longer pretended to be someone from the monster plant's royal court. Instead, he pretended to be someone from dynasty. This was because Fang Ping realized, When he pretended to be someone from the monster plant's royal court, some people ran away when they saw him. It was very depressing. Until dawn, Fang Ping's wealth had barely reached 990 billion. He was still short of the money for the last early-stage rank 7 divine weapon. This time, Fang Ping did not rest. He led the rest to continue searching for the target. At the same time, more than 100 li away from the entrance, Feng Yexing's gaze was gloomy. He glanced at the people in front of him. 3 rank 7 powerhouses, 9 mentality vitality fusion, more than 20 peak rank 6, and more than 20 upper stage martial artists. Are there only so many people? Prince Feng, everyone is here! A mentality vitality fusion powerhouse reported immediately. This was already all the people from the monster plant's royal court in the rank 6 area. Not only the people from the monster plant's royal court, but the martial artists from the 3 dynasties and 2 major sects affiliated to the monster plant's royal court had also arrived. Close to 60 people. As Feng Yexing watched, he suddenly felt a little sad. When they came in a mighty manner. Now that they had gathered everyone, including a portion of the people that Uncle Wang had sent in, there were less than 60 people. Fortunately, there were still 3 commander-level powerhouses. These 3 people were prepared for Jiang Chao. Feng Yexing's gaze was cold and fierce. Commander Bai Qing, the few of you, remember, there is only one goal. When we encounter those people, we will join forces to kill Jiang Chao. The rest of you will surround and kill his companions. If we fail again this time, we won't have it easy. Yes. The 3 rank 7s responded immediately. With the 3 of them joining forces, together with Feng Yexing, they did not believe that they could not kill Jiang Chao. Moreover, the territory of command was also thinking of ways to break through the stronghold. When the time came, there would be more powerhouses. If the people from the territory of command were to break through the stronghold, they would have to go out from the inner periphery. If they went in from the outer periphery, they would meet those people sooner or later. Feng Yexing exhaled softly. At this moment, Feng Yexing suddenly turned his head. The 3 rank 7 martial artists also looked to his side quickly. Ji Yao! Do you have to go against me? At this moment, a group of people appeared in the distance. The lady riding the tiger looked over and said coldly, Feng Yexing, kill yourself! What a joke! Feng Yexing said it was funny, but his expression was extremely ugly. This witch did not go to the inner periphery to look for opportunities. Instead, she targeted them. How detestable! Jiao said coldly again. You're a disgrace to King Feng if you're still alive! You were defeated by the martial artist who resurrected you. Do you think you're worthy of coveting the king's position? Feng Yexing's face was ashen. Without saying a word, he waved his hand and led everyone toward the inner periphery. As for the martial artists who resurrected, it was difficult to find them now. However, since they were here, they would go to the inner periphery sooner or later. After they left, the people from the Monster Life Royal Court did not leave. They followed behind. Beside Ji Yao, there were 2 people. One was a luxurious young man, and the other was a lady in full armor. At this moment, the armored lady said, Your Highness, aren't we going to make a move? There's no rush, Ji Yao said lightly. Follow them. They'll scout ahead. It's not too late to plan after some of them die. We still have to wait for the others to break through. There were 3 chieftains on Feng Yexing's side. She only had 2 on her side, but they had more people. Moreover, there were a few who were in the process of breaking through. The Monster Life Royal Court did not lose any of their mentality vitality fusion. There were more people who could break through than Feng Yexing and the rest. As she spoke, Ji Yao added, They've indeed suffered heavy casualties. Not many of the newcomers are still alive. After saying that, Ji Yao looked at the armored woman and said, Go and find the people from the affiliated dynasties and sections. Ask them to gather with me. If you encounter the 10,000 demon royal court and the demon clan that guards the royal court, invite them as well. Your Highness, the Guardian clan, This time, the Guardian clan is led by the descendant of the Phoenix King. Don't worry about them helping Feng Yexing. The Guardian clan was the weakest of the 4 great royal courts. Not only was it weak, but it was also divided into 2 factions. One supported the Monster Life Royal Court, while the other supported the Monster Plants Royal Court. Of course, the names of the 2 great royal courts were just what humans called them. They claimed otherwise. Moreover, the 2 great royal courts had a unified name a long time ago, the Monster Emperor God Dynasty. 1,000 years ago, the 2 great royal courts had some problems because of the name. In the end, they chose to use a different name. The Monster Life Royal Court called itself the Heavenly Fate Royal Court, while the Monster Plants Royal Court called themselves the Heavenly Plants Royal Court. As for the names of the 2 great royal courts, legend had it that they were actually the names of the 2 kings. Of course, legend was legend after all. The 2 kings had disappeared for a very, very long time. There were only some remnant records. As for what the 2 great royal courts were called, no one cared. Later generations had always called the 2 kings Tianming and Tianji. The armored lady said no more. She brought a few people to look for the others. There were still many people on Feng Yexing's side, but this was all they had. As for Ji Yao's side, it was not all. Some old people had not gathered here yet. This was because the old people and newbies from the 2 great royal courts had gathered. They had also summoned the people from the subordinate dynasties and sections. In the end, there were more than 200 people gathered in those 2 places alone. There was also a group of people scattered in the inner area. Therefore, as Fan Ping and the others walked, Fan Ping suddenly felt a little tired in his heart. Mother Kerr, didn't they say that this place is full of danger and there are catacombs martial artists everywhere? We were told not to run around. If we run around, we'll be killed easily. But now, I'm flying around everywhere. Where are they? Fan Ping cursed and almost vomited blood. I'm already so arrogant. Other than some crazy demons, where are the others? Have all the people died in this huge king's battleground? Come out! Kill me! I'm just an upper stage warlord. Kill me! Fan Ping roared a few times. Beside him, Jiang Chao had been in a daze for a long time. Yes, what happened to the catacombs? In the end, Fan Ping wanted to find danger. He wanted to find people. Yet, he was so arrogant and despotic that no one came to kill them. There was no justice in this world. Give me another divine weapon! Fan Ping wanted to cry but had no tears. Was it easy to snatch something? If he did not get another divine weapon, he would have to get 2 if he did not have enough. When Zhang Ping had taught him before, he had said that there were catacombs martial artists everywhere. He had to be careful and avoid them. The key was, where were they? Fan Ping did not know. In the past, everyone had been scattered. How could there be so many people looking for opportunities together? Even if it was monster plants and monster lives, there would only be more than 10 people moving together at most. This year, because of him, Feng Yexing had gathered everyone. Ji Yao wanted to annihilate Feng Yexing and the rest, so she had gathered everyone too. After a while, there were not many people scattered in the rank 6 area. Fan Ping looked behind him, then at the increasingly chaotic energy flow in the sky. He gritted his teeth and said, "Let's go to the inner circle. Those people will go there sooner or later. Let's move faster. Let's see if we can meet some in front and kill a group of them." The next moment, a few of them were flying in the sky arrogantly. Jiang Chao was still cautious at first, but later, this fatty laughed arrogantly and roared in an extremely savage manner. "I can do whatever I want in the king's battleground. I can fly 3,000 li in a day. Who will take my head?" It was so cool. Who would hide? The last time this pervert went back, he actually mocked him, saying that if he went to the king's battleground, if he did not want to die, he should conceal his identity and find a place to hide for a month before coming out. Pervert, pervert. Have you ever thought that I am now doing whatever I want in the king's battleground, flying in the sky arrogantly, shouting for people to kill me? Hiding. What a joke! I have 4 big protectors by my side. 4 big perverts. Do I still need to hide? Ha! Jiang Chao laughed wildly. Fang Ping and the rest looked at each other. Was this damn fatty too full of himself? While they were arrogant and full of themselves, Fang Ping and the rest flew hundreds of li in the sky. Finally, they attracted a team of 5 people. 2 mentality-vitality fusion. A team like this was not considered weak here. However, when they encountered Fang Ping and the rest, Fang Ping went up and crushed a small town. Old Yao's mentality deterrence and last hit. Wang Jinyang and Li Hansong unleashed a big outburst. Not long after, this team followed in the footsteps of their predecessors. This time, Fang Ping was also wild with joy. He got a divine weapon. 2 mentality-vitality fusion, both had a divine weapon. Together with some miscellaneous items on him, Fang Ping distributed them on the spot. Then, he began to wait. Not long after, the system data began to change. 1 trillion! Ha! At this moment, Fang Ping laughed maniacally. 1 trillion! On the second day of entering the Land of Kings, in less than 48 hours, he had earned close to 500 billion in wealth. When the interface turned pitch black and disappeared, Fang Ping heaved a sigh of relief. It was time to upgrade. At this time, the arrogant Fang Ping landed on the ground in a low-key manner. He used the Paragon's feces to enter a monster's encirclement, dug a hole, and buried them. Jiang Chao was dumbfounded. He had not had enough fun yet. Why did he stop? Fang Ping was too lazy to explain. During the system upgrade, his wealth could not be used. This was also a shortcoming. Of course, outsiders did not know. At this time, because his wealth could not be used, he could not recover quickly. Although his combat strength was not weak, he might not be able to exhaust a low-stage rank 7 to death. The other party should exhaust him to death. Based on this, of course, Fang Ping would not act recklessly. He did not know how long the system upgrade would take this time. However, he would hide for 2 days first. When it was time to lie low, Fang Ping could also lie low. Without Fang Ping and the others, the king's battleground became less lively. Feng Mieshing and the rest were still rushing toward the inner encirclement. Ji Yao and the rest were tailing them. 2 huge teams moved together. Even the threat of the demons did not exist. At the same time, Rank 7 area. A young man with an elegant demeanor and a gentle smile, with a long sword at his waist, was indescribably charming and elegant. The young man caressed the face of the woman in front of him gently, as if he was treating a lover. He said gently, "Lan Zhu, tell Brother Hao, which one do you choose?" The woman who was being caressed by him turned pale. She screamed, "I don't choose. Kill me, kill me! Lan Zhu, you're not pretty anymore." The young man's expression was gentle. He continued caressing her face, smiling. "Tell me, which one do you choose? If you don't choose, I'll choose for you." "Jian Hao!" The woman's face was pale. Her eyes were filled with fear. She said hurriedly, "Kill me! Kill me! I'll tell you a secret!" "A secret? Hee hee, I hate secrets the most." Jian Hao licked his lips lightly. With a gentle expression, he said, "Let me choose for you." "Choose 3. The woman's expression changed drastically. She said quickly, "Feng Qing, Mu Daoyu, and the rest have already gone to the border wall. They want to break through the outer boundary barrier and kill your brother, Jiang Chao. Now that they have reached the border wall, they might have already gone to the outer boundary. Jiang Hao, if you don't go, your brother will definitely die." Jiang Hao's expression did not change. He said with a light smile, "They want to kill my brother? The outer boundary is so big. They can just find a place to hide." "Your brother did not hide," the woman screamed. "Not only did he not hide, he even killed hundreds of people from the monster plant monarch court. The divine generals of the 9 cities are furious. They ordered us to break through the barrier and kill Jiang Chao." This time, Jiang Hao was stunned. Even the name was reported. That meant that Fatty had really been discovered. Most importantly, that Fatty had killed hundreds of people from the monster plant monarch court. Did this woman have to lie to him like this? Did she think that he would believe her? All right, killing hundreds of people was probably fake. But it was probably true that the Fatty had been discovered. Jiang Hao shook his head lightly. A hint of helplessness appeared on his handsome face. I told you to find a place to hide for a month. Why are you so stupid? To think that you could be discovered. To think that Grandpa even said that he could safely survive after entering the battlefield of the monster plant monarch court. Stupid Fatty. Jiang Hao sneered. He did not say anything more. He reached out and drew his sword. With a swing, the long sword returned to its scabbard. In front of him, Lan Zhu's eyes revealed a smile of relief. His skull was pierced through, and his life force quickly dissipated. Jiang Hao looked into the distance and chuckled. He won't really be hunted to death, will he? It's not easy to find a weak spot in the boundary wall. Oh well, good luck. If I can save him, I will. If I can't, I can only avenge you. Jiang Hao stepped into the air and left. Before he left, he smiled faintly. Don't follow me, or else I'll kill you. After he left, a figure appeared in the void. Yang Qing glanced at the corpses on the ground, then looked in the direction that Jiang Hao had left. His eyes revealed a hint of confusion. Grandpa, should I go? At this moment, Yang Qing was no longer as high-spirited and arrogant as he used to be. His father had died early, his ancestor had fallen, his grandfather had died in battle, and his second grandfather had been killed. There were also a few uncles who had died in the boundary zone. Now, in the huge Yang family, he was the only high-ranked. Should I go? Yang Qing mumbled to himself. Could he go? The elders who were on good terms with the Yang family had told him not to think about revenge. Yang He and Yang Feng were killed because they had committed a taboo, a huge taboo. Attacking Fang Ping in the youth tournament was a slap in the face to the Pluto King and King Wu. MC Mayu was under the jurisdiction of King Wu. The top elite school was actually also King Wu's trump card. Yang He had attacked Fang Ping. If he did not die, then so be it. If he died on the spot, then there was nothing to say. Revenge. Yang Qing was a rank 7. How could he take revenge? There were families in suppressing Star City that were on good terms with the Yang family. Some were even relatives. However, this matter involved two powerhouses at the pinnacle, and it might even involve suppressing Heavenly King. Who would take such a risk for the Yang family's matter? There was no hope for revenge. The family was declining. These days, Yang Qing was at a loss and very lonely. In the past, he did not need to consider anything at all. It was enough as long as he improved his strength. Now, he had too much to consider. There were still many people in the Yang family. He was also the current head of the Yang family. In the past, he could wander around without any worries. Now, he had to be cautious with every step. Grandpa, what should I do? This is the only chance to kill him. Now that the rank 6 region is in turmoil, the restricted area martial artists and people like Jiang Hao are all preparing to go. Where should I go? The King battleground is not controlled by the pinnacle. If I kill him here, no one will know that I did it. Even if someone guessed that it was me, without evidence, they can't do anything to me. But, at this moment, Yang Qing was in a dilemma. After an unknown amount of time, Yang Qing's eyes were blood-red like an injured beast. He said in a low, mournful voice, "But he killed Cousin Feng, his teacher, killed second grandpa. He did it on purpose. He wanted to kill them on purpose. The elder ancestor has fallen. You, grandpa, are also dead. He bullied the Yang family, and no one can take revenge. He relied on his great talent and the pinnacle to think highly of him. Unscrupulously, he schemed against second grandpa and the others. Grandpa, did you hear that? After this, he will enter rank 7. Qing heir can no longer take revenge. Grandpa." At this moment, Yang Qing's eyes showed despair. If he did not kill him this time, there would be no more chances. Fan Ping! Yang Qing growled in a low voice. In the next moment, his figure moved, flying toward the boundary wall. The restricted area rank 7 had entered. Next, the rank 6 region would definitely erupt into a chaotic battle. If he took the opportunity to kill Fan Ping and return to the rank 7 region, who would know that he was the one who did it? Moreover, he did not believe some of the things that the Martial King said. The Martial King had sent someone to tell him that the elder ancestors' remains were not obtained by Fan Ping. However, Fan Ping was a member of the Martial King's bloodline. Could it be that the Martial King did not have it just because he said so? Even if the elder ancestors' remains are not with Fan Ping, I still have to kill him. An eye for an eye. Fan Ping killed his family. The Yang family's only rank 8 golden body died because of him. If he did not take revenge, how could he be at ease? You're tuning into the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.